better. This is much. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can be heard, so be careful.
I'm gonna put this in my story so that they can register. Should I put the link here or should I put it here on the register?
Right on the register.
Thank you.
Yep. Yes. So much better. I can appreciate this right now. So much better. Made it again. Guns and Barbecue. Appreciate you. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Last check, I'm doing this audio. So we are back. Derek, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you guys coming back. Sorry about that. I know that's very inconvenient. I do apologize about that. Clayton, thanks. Derek, thanks. Guns and Barbecue, great. So you guys can hear me. I'm coming through clear. I would think that this visual is just a little bit better, right? Like, I wanted a better visual for you guys. I think this will complement what we are attempting to do or attempting to achieve here a little bit better than some of that cheesy webcam that was going on. So thanks for hanging in there with me as I got that adjusted and fixed. I really do appreciate that. Trying to get this last little thing adjusted. Bam, there we go. All right. Yeah, I fired the camera guy. I had to get rid of him. Had to get him out of there. Had to get him out of there. Once again, the only other little warning I will give you guys is because I lost my dummy battery for this camera. Well, not lost it. I sold it is what I did. So this camera has a fresh battery in it, but it might go dead in 30, 45 minutes because of the way we're streaming. But I got plenty of batteries on hand. So it'll just be a quick swap of the battery and we're right back into it. I don't have the audio running through, so it'll still stay up. I am dropping a link to the website, nootherchoice.com. So on the website, this shirt here says Harriet would have smacked the shit out of you is what it says. But, you know, for walking around in public, we took the I out and gave you a nice little asterisk for individuals that are disrespectful to all the things that have happened and say things that are adverse to what freedom is. And then for all the madness going around with the C20-1 thing, you know, I don't think people really appreciate being told what to do a lot. So we have this shirt, and you can get this in a hoodie as well. It simply says, "Don't mandate me to madness." Okay, don't mandate me to madness. There's also another shirt we have up, and one of my personal favorites that is new up on the website is "Don't make me act uncivil about my civil rights." That is another good shirt for you guys to check out. Hoodie, t-shirt, long sleeve, whatever you want. All right. Yes, the hoodie is absolutely for sale, Derek. Website that I dropped in the comments section there. Take you right over to the website, and it takes you right to the apparel page, and you'll be able to see the 3 new pieces of apparel that we have out. All right, I think we've so let's get to talking about this. Clayton, appreciate you, brother. Really do, always do. Let's get to talking about this saga, if you will. Okay, let's get to talking about the Joe Rogan thing. And I know a lot of people were asking my opinion about it. Hey, what do you think? You know, like, when are you going to say something? Are you going to say something? And etc. One thing I want to let you know is we're going to start conducting a lot more of the lives over here on this platform. I'm not saying I will never go live on Instagram. I'm not saying that. I don't want that to be the impression. However, for the things and technology that I've invested into, you guys can see, you know, gimbals behind me. We got drones around. It's a lot of stuff, including cameras like I'm recording on now. And even like this little guy sitting over here. A lot of stuff we've invested in that I want to be able to use. And really, you guys have been so supportive, and I think it's okay for me to step up the quality in what I present to you. So, you know, we're going to be over here a little bit more. It allows a little bit more flexibility. I did even invest in a new phone. One of the benefits of that phone is that it will help the lives look a lot better because of the camera that's inside of that phone. So we stepped up the lives, but we're going to really take advantage of the technology over here. I think you guys deserve that. And this stuff is going to complement, all the videos we got coming up, from gun reviews to book reviews to interviews. This stuff is also responsible for Stogies and Straps. If you are not watching Stogies and Straps, fix that in your life. As soon as this podcast is over, this talk is over, go over, sign up for the podcast or the YouTube channel. It's just Stogies and Straps on YouTube. Go follow it, man. Watch the interview. We have a clinical counselor. That episode just dropped today. And the first one, we have Ken Scott, former police chief, and we're talking about a lot of stuff as well. So get over there. We're getting into the conversations. All right. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. That is the greatest shirt in the world. I thank you. Thank you. And y'all know if you guys noticed, but the A is actually Harriet herself. I dig this shirt. So let's talk about Mr. Rogan. All right. I kind of gave my disclaimer. I'll make it super quick. I don't listen to every Joe Rogan podcast. I never have. I listen to the highlighted ones, right? Like the clips that go viral. When people say, hey, you got to watch like this episode, because I do like long form conversations. So I've listened to my fair share of Joe Rogan, but I don't even have a Spotify account. And it's not because I hate Spotify. I just like have never had a Spotify account, right? So I want to make sure that that my stance is balanced, right? So I'm not going to be like, oh, protest this. I've never even had one. However, I'm going to create a Spotify account because of my podcast, right? So now I have an interest in having a Spotify account. So I have listened to Rogan. Have I asked to go on Rogan's show? Absolutely. That would be silly of me, a man in my position, not wanting to get on that platform and share my message. Why wouldn't I want to do that? So yeah, I've been on Rogan's show. I have friends that are friends with Rogan, right? So I do know people that vouch for the man, that I can talk to personally, that have vouched for him and things of that nature. And I was, absolutely in a positive way, wanting to exploit those contacts to make sure that I go ahead and leapfrog over those couple of buddies and get my hands on Rogan and show up on his show. That is factual. Okay. These are things that I have contemplated. These are things I have attempted. These are things a lot of you guys have attempted by like tagging them in some of my posts, some of my views. People have shot me emails and CC'd me on them. Like, yes, I have been trying to have a conversation with Joe Rogan for probably a good year and a half now. All right. So yeah, I've tried to talk to the man. Now, do I, before we start anything about how I feel about the controversy, before now, if you ask me, and I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to tell you my answer at the end. If you would have said, hey, man, do you like Rogan? I would have said, I enjoy his podcast. I don't know the man personally. I did meet him at a SHOT Show, I think back in like 2015. And I took a picture with him. But like, I don't know him. Right. And I've only listened to the really, really like fire podcasts, like the ones that everybody's sharing clips of. But other than that, no. Just want to give you a balance, like, just to be honest with you. Now, how do I feel about the controversy? First, we have to start at the beginning. Why is Joe Rogan, why is he originally under this new firestorm, right? Why? Well, it's because one of the guests, and I know he had another pretty world-renowned doctor on, but one of them is Robert Malone. And I did listen to that episode. I listened to that entire episode when it came out. A couple of buddies was like, you got to listen to this if you don't do nothing else. So I listened to it. Listened to the entire episode. And then there was another gentleman that he had on a little while before that that's also a doctor, and I forget that gentleman's name. And he also had people on that have disagreed with the stance of the C20-1 situation, and they've had those conversations. So Rogan has had both conversations with people, right? And then obviously Rogan has went viral for the ivermectin and the horse tranquilizers, and how people kind of spun it out of control and twisted up his words and made it seem like he was telling people to take, animal drugs, to a whole bunch of stuff, right? And that's kind of where it started. And then it later on, it caught up to this interview and people saying that Rogan is allowing misinformation to be spread and that Spotify is giving him a stage to do so, right? So the firestorm comes from individuals disagreeing with his stance, or his stance and the stance of some of his guests, because they can't say all of his guests, because he has had people on that think that everything that is going on with the mandates and everything else is just fine. So he's had balanced conversations, but when it comes to when he's speaking out against it or his guests are challenging it, this is where people are starting to have a problem with that part of the conversation. So they've asked for Spotify as this host platform to remove him, or they'll protest Spotify. And that started off with a lot of CNN, and there's a lot of reasons for CNN, and we'll talk about that. And then that obviously is spilled over into Hollywood. Politics, media, Hollywood, they're all one thing, right? They all play with each other. So what happened? Well, What we know is this. I'm going to minimize this screen here for I can bring up. Oh crap! I lost my Word document. Never mind. Because oh, let me see. Because I want to bring up the artist that actually see if it recovers my document since my reset. Where'd you go? Did you recover it? Open. Recent. Yeah, let me see here. Nah, I lost it. Never mind. All right, so we had a no, there it is. God, thank God. All right, so just to let you guys know, these are the artists that have said they are pulling their music or their other entertainment venues. Some of these people even have podcasts. They're pulling them off. They want to pull them off of Spotify. That will be Neil Young, John Mitchell, Nihilus Lawfren, India Arie, Crosby, Still and Nash, Failure, Roxanne Gay, Brain Brown, and Mary Trump. And he is also, Rogan has also lost the support of some Hollywood individuals. One individual that was giving Rogan a lot of support during the COVID-19 situation was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, to name one individual, right? Will still standing by him and having a pretty balanced approach to saying, you guys just can't get mad at this man because he doesn't feel the same way about what's going on in the medical world than you do, right? You can't tell him that the C20-1 should be handled one way or the other. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson put his support behind Rogan. And Dwayne also has that tequila is really taken off. So he's gotten a lot of great shares financially. He's doing very well. So it meant a lot for him to lean his support to Rogan. Okay. Now, after that plays around a lot, CNN is obviously blasting him. A lot of the various pundits and speakers that tend to have a left-leaning identity, right? Either self-identified or assumption, but really seem to lean left for the majority. Those individuals came out in a firestorm against him, right? It's like when he would get some support from people that seem to be able to see the balance, a lot of individuals said, well, no, we are going to ignite a fire and we're going to keep this going until we figure out something and figure out a way to handle Joe Rogan. CNN, I'm not a person that gets into a lot of conspiracy theories, but I am a man that looks at just simple facts and will acknowledge when something seems to be a coincidence. So what I'm about to say could potentially be a coincidence. But if you look at CNN's ratings, if you look at the popularity of their shows, they have tanked dramatically over the last several months. Some more than others. They've been caught in several scandals. We've had the Cuomo situation happen. They've had some other scandals go on. Now they're out recruiting new, fresh political commentators to try to relaunch that brand and relaunch that platform. And their news shows like Keisha Lance Bottoms, the former mayor of Atlanta, is now a new political commentator over there. I don't even think she's put out her first episode yet. But this is their attempt to kind of rebrand, relaunch, and salvage that network. Now, if you are failing, right, as any influencer network, anybody will tell you, sometimes people get desperate and they try to claw on to get that popularity or those ratings back. Joe Rogan was what they attempted to claw into to get those ratings back, right? If we can latch on to Joe Rogan and build back up off of him, great. And there could also be, notice I said there could also be some professional jealousy there. Joe Rogan has millions of listeners on a regular basis. And for the times that I've listened to Rogan's podcast, it is a pretty enjoyable podcast. And he has millions of people listening on a regular basis, where if CNN is falling off and they got way more money than Rogan, they got way more money than Spotify. And if they're falling off, maybe they don't appreciate the fact that this guy that's, got a couple of cameras and, talking for 3 hours is doing better than their highly produced few $100,000 shows 8-9 times a day, right? With an entire army of commentators and researchers. So might be some professional jealousy there. Now, how do we get to where we are now? So that is with the C20-1 thing. And I'm only avoiding saying that crap because I don't feel like the live getting shut down, right? That is the C20-1 thing. And that's how it's spun out of control. A difference of opinion, interviewing professional people. Some agree, some disagree with Rogan's general stance. And then people getting upset about that, accusing him of spreading misinformation, attacking the platform that he is on that does the most for him, which is Spotify, which also in recent history struck a deal with him. Well, that's $100 million with incentives and things of that nature. So yeah, that's generally where it comes from. Then I just talked to you about maybe the professional concern, professional jealousy from other entities, one being CNN that clearly has a left-leaning agenda. Now, fast forward, and this is where it gets delicate. That wasn't working as well as they thought, right? We can all look and see things. If you don't have to look close, you just have to know what to look for. And that wasn't working as well as they thought. I didn't have an opinion about it because I'm like, you know what? I'm used to people wanting to shut down things that make them uncomfortable. Hence why I say I just tell the truth, right? Because I don't care about you being uncomfortable. Now we get to a part of the conversation that is extremely delicate, and it's where people are having an issue balancing how they feel. So when that wasn't working, CNN and people that lean that way, they're behind the scene researchers, people that are supporters, people that just don't like Rogan, whatever the case may be. They went into the archives. We all have archives. We all do. I know I do, right? We all got skeleton secret archives. We said some crap. All of us are guilty of it, right? And it happens. So they went into his archives. And but all our archives are different. Now, in Joe's archive was, let's see, I believe it was 72 times that Joe Rogan used the N-word with the hard ER at the end. Okay. And then there's also a clip about Planet of the Apes, which I'm going to touch on both of those. What I want to talk about is the bridge in between the C20-1 and the use of the N-word with the hard ER. How did those two things link together? And that's the missing piece of information. How did those two things become, one, a conversation that's united, and two, how did the N-word with the hard ER actually start overshadowing the C20-1 conversation that was a firestorm for months? How did it do that? Well, if I am an individual that is trying to win a fight with you, and I see that I'm not winning, then I'm going to see what else I got to pull out. And so CNN went into their bag and they pulled out something that they knew would piss off the loudest group and voice in this country. And that's Black folks, right? You piss Black people off, they get real vocal about stuff real quick, right? Cool. People got a right to talk. The whole thing is about talking, right? So CNN said, yeah, here's this snippet that doesn't even gather all the times he said it, of Joe Rogan dropping the N-bomb with the hard ER at the end. And then for a little bit of sauce, we're going to add in this clip of him making this Planet of the Apes reference. So the C20-1 thing wasn't working. We're going to now call in our secret weapon. Okay. And we got enough evidence on you that's really going to warrant a conversation. It is. So that's the bridge. And here's what I want people to realize and recognize, and then I'm going to get into the rest of it. I'm about to talk about how I feel about Joe Rogan and what he said, but I also want to make very clear that the reason that we're even having this conversation, because before now, I've never heard him drop the word ever. But I go back to saying I haven't listened to every Rogan episode either, right? I'm the guy that even told you I've never even had a Spotify account until I'm about to get one now because of my own podcast. But I never had one. So I haven't listened to all the episodes. I have listened to some of them in full, in length, like the Robert Malone one. So I can see when I'm being played. It is very clear to me when I'm being played and when I'm being used. Very clear. And in this particular situation, Black people, you are being played. Okay? The only reason that the people that don't like Rogan, that pretend to like you, have come out with these clips and this research is to take Rogan down. It is not to give you justice. I want to make that abundantly clear. It is about his demise, their gain, and you are being used in the middle. Period. Your your interest is not being taken into consideration. This isn't about, you mean to tell me the same news giant that can put out that clip didn't know about that beforehand? So if it was such an issue of morality and Rogan being wrong in their eyes, if it was such an issue, why wouldn't you just drop that on a Wednesday at 7 o'clock? Why did it have to be him being attacked for other reasons? Why not just get out there and drop it? Because you feel this is wrong. Let's put it out there and let America react to it because we think that this is wrong, whether we think Joe Rogan's a friend or we dislike him. But here is the information, America, have at it. No, when they weren't winning a fight, they called black people to jump him. Period. CNN left-leaning individuals were losing the fight with Rogan over free speech and information and First Amendment type issues. Cancel culture was not working for them. Spotify and Rogan are two giants. Rogan's getting more traction on his show than CNN is getting on theirs all combined. They are too big. Cancel culture wasn't going to work. Who the hell is Neil Young? This is not going to work. And I love me some India Arie. Look, India Arie got some good music, boy. She got some good music. But India Arie is not the India Arie of 15 years ago. No, like a lot of people now don't even know who she is, right? But I'm a fan of India Arie. So let me make that clear. Musically, I'm a fan. Well, now all of a sudden, they start calling in those individuals because they know that's going to get them hype. And even they start pushing their own agendas. And as much as I love India Arie, CNN calls us to jump Joe Rogan. That's what happened, black people. CNN was losing a fight for freedom of speech. They couldn't use cancel culture because the two individuals, Joe Rogan and Spotify, that they were attacking, including the guest that really pissed them off, the Robert Malone guy, world-renowned, published medical professional. Joe Rogan, media giant, 30 years in the game. Spotify, rich, got plenty of money, plenty of people needing their platform. So they couldn't pull to Spotify. They couldn't do to Spotify what they do to YouTube. They couldn't do to Spotify what they do to Instagram. They couldn't do to Spotify what they do to TikTok. They couldn't do to Spotify what they do to Facebook. And they couldn't do to Spotify what they do to a lot of social platforms because Spotify wasn't having it. You lost. You're losing. You're getting pummeled into the ground. Now you want to jump him. Now you want to call on your black friend and jump him. Okay. Well, even when India Arie spoke out, she mentioned, I'm not supporting Joe Rogan for the misinformation amongst other reasons. She releases another video that states, here is the clip of him saying the N-bomb. So the entire time that the leftists or people that don't like Joe Rogan have had this clip, they waited to give it to the black woman to release it first. You think India Arie put that clip together? No. But they knew she's black, she's soft, and she's a woman. So we're going to let her do it. India Arie pushes it out. Her clips go viral. And when you see that soft talking, sweet woman, India Arie is a very nice, elegant lady. When you see her talking about things, she's not mean-spirited. She's not using a bunch of curse words. She's just talking. That's how she's always been. So that's going to appeal to a lot of people. It's going to make them seem sensible that they should be upset because it's like Joe Rogan is attacking this sweet lady on the screen. So I want to make that point clear. That's how we got here. That's how we arrived at how we feel about Rogan based off the fact, ultimately, CNN and their compadres, left if you want to say it, was losing a fight. They called their black friend and jump him. And this is why you should jump him. Because he smacked your sister. When? Man, 3 years ago in the backyard. But I'm telling you, he smacked her. Here, a clip. Then all of a sudden, black people jump in the fight. CNN and those individuals that called you to jump in a fight don't respect you. They don't have your best interest at heart. They are showing you that by using a black woman to even spread the message, and they hid behind her. It's all about the energy. They're always hijacking somebody else's movement. That's why India Arie had to bring up money several times in her statement. We're getting pennies. He's got $100 million contract. Business is business. Handle your business. I'm cool with you want to protest because they're not paying for me. I'm with that. But we're mixing too many things in the conversation because India has a bigger problem with money. I'm not saying she's okay with the N word, but her biggest problem was money, not COVID, not the N word. That's why she talked about the money more. How you gonna get this dude dropping an N bomb, 100 million, but I get half a penny for three plays of my song? Okay. Everybody's agenda is getting hacked. Everybody's agenda. Even in the side that's together that's supposed to be jumping him, they all jumping him for different reasons. Everybody's got their own agenda they want to push. Now, now we deal with, now let me see if anybody's, I'm gonna scroll through the comments real quick and see if anybody's got any comments or questions to this point. And then we're gonna get into the N-bomb. Okay. Good evening, and good evening, everybody out there. You need mods to beat the bots. Is bots in here? Didn't even know that. There are good candidates in this feed already. When your followers outnumber every block hour on the yeah, brand on hit the job because they can't beat them. Yeah, absolutely. Sunglasses and stogies and straps. I got you, man. All right, so, and I'm gonna drop the link if you guys like this this hoodie that Harriet would have smacked the sugar honey iced tea out of you. For the C20 minus one thing, don't mandate me to madness is another great. You can also get this in a hoodie, and it looks good on black. I really like it in black. And don't make me act uncivil about my civil rights. It's also up on the website. I just dropped the link again in the comments. Now, and I'll pin that message. So it's at the top now. So now we arrive, since everybody seems to be clear up until this point. So now we arrive at the usage of the N word with the hard ER at the end and the Planet of the Apes comment. And this is where it gets interesting. So Joe Rogan himself has issued an apology, and that's pretty much what I was waiting on, or his statement. I didn't know if it was going to be an apology or not. I'll listen to his statement that was an apology, and I'm paraphrasing, but Joe Rogan in that said several things. White people should not use the word. He said that. He said it is a very interesting word. He broke that down. He also said that he was an idiot for using it. He hasn't used it in years. And it was a mistake for him to feel so comfortable with using it. And he also said that there were times where he used the word in context because he was repeating something someone said. So it was in context. But obviously, when you take a clip, you get no context, right? You just get a clip stirring up people's thoughts and emotions. Okay, cool. That's the balanced approach to it. He also stated he's never used the word in malice. He's never looked at somebody and said, you are N-word with the hard ER. He's never called somebody that to call them out of their names intentionally. These are the things that Joe Rogan has said, right? And then there are also people that I know personally, like I said, vouch for the man's character, and it was just a shock to hear like everybody else was. I'm just giving you the overall picture, all right? Now, how do I feel about Joe Rogan using the N-word? It's the same way I feel about any white person using the N-word. Don't. Period. And in context, I get it, right? So like when we were going through the Ahmaud Arbery trial and the GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigations investigator had to testify to a particular statement that was made during the case. And he had to sit on the stand and say the N-word with the hard ER. It was in context. I'm not necessarily mad if you are repeating back what somebody said with the right context, right? So for example, I was out and this dude, for whatever reason, called me the N-word with a hard ER. I can't believe he called my boy. We was walking through the parking lot and this dude just randomly said, hey, you N hard ER. With context, and then sometimes you might be able to somewhat maybe understand it. But here's what I need for people to get. When that word was used originally, right? That word was used to harm people. It was meant to degrade them. Period. It was not created by black people. It was created by white people. They used that word to degrade black people, to make sure that they understood that they were not human. They were subhuman. This is what we call you. Okay? I've went through the history of this many a times, but what ultimately happened in simple terms is that at one point, Black people said, you're using this for evil, and we're going to turn it on you. We're going to take its power from you and flip it. That's what we're going to do because it's being used against us for literally hundreds of years. I need people to realize that. Literally hundreds of years to tell you get off the bus N-word with the hard ER, to tell you don't belong here with the hard ER, to kill you and laugh and call you the hard ER, to tell your ancestors to go keep working hard ER, to tell you you'll never be hired here hard ER, to tell you better not look at my women hard ER, et cetera, and et cetera, et cetera. So at one point in time, well before my birth, individuals decided to take that word, flip it, and use it as a term of endearment and make it cool. I don't necessarily have to agree with that either, but I do appreciate somebody taking a word from someone and yanking its power from it. Now that I do appreciate. And that's what happened. So yeah, you hear it in rap songs. Absolutely. It can also be used as a word when I'm mad at somebody. You know, it's all about the way that you say it with the A at the end, right? Because the flip of it wasn't being used with the ER. The flip was to replace the ER with an A. I think everybody knows that. So we get into this interest. So that's just a brief synopsis in history. Now, as far as people using it in music and using it over here and using it over there, a lot of people who are non-Black and some Black people don't like the word A. Now, let's be very clear about that. Not every Black person says that word. Okay. There are Black people that absolutely hate it with the A just as much as they hate it with the ER. I promise you. Okay. But for the people that do in music, movies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, here's where I become a little inquisitive. So I am a big fan of Italian mob movies, right? Some like his South American cartel movies, Mexican, Spanish, blah, blah, blah. And you watch Goodfellas, you watch Casino, you watch Godfather, you watch Irishman. I mean, you watch a lot of these movies and they use some terminology. And I can't repeat that. I can't. Let me walk into New York, into an Italian neighborhood and repeat some of the crap that I heard in Goodfellas. Let me do that and see what happens to me. It's not my place. Although it was put out into mainstream. Although it's being said in classic movies that millions upon millions of people have watched multiple times. Y'all know damn well y'all watch Scarface more than one. You watch Goodfellas more than once. I mean, they're great movies, right? Like I get to sit on the shelf for like 3 years and you see it come back on and you watch it again, right? But they are using language in there, like in The Irishman. They are using language that I cannot repeat because I understand that it's derogatory. But I look at them using it with each other in jokes. And then they say the word. They say the word. And then they go out and they have a beer. They continue on with the conversation and do whatever deals they're doing. I don't get to repeat those words. And I don't. Here is my bigger question for the people that want to have that fight. Why do you want to? And that's what you have to ask yourself. Why do you want to? If you understand the true history of such a negative word, despite what other people are doing with it, why would you want to repeat it? Now let's get to Joe Rogan. But I just want to put that in your brain for a second. Now let's get to Joe Rogan. When you are comfortable, he said it over 70 times. 72, I think, was the count that they had or whatever, right? When you are comfortable repeating that word, because I see you in context, I'll give you a little bit of that, but you had to use it 72 times in context, I think your point's been made, all right? So I'm going to agree with Joe Rogan and say he shouldn't have been saying it. Now, do I think it was dumb? Like I'm not even gonna go through all the reasons that he shouldn't have been saying. It's stupid. And I'm not saying nothing Joe Rogan didn't say. This is what he said. Joe Rogan himself said it was dumb, it was stupid, and there's no way that I should have done that. Okay. Now I want to make it very clear about what the word racist means. A person who is prejudiced against or antagonistic, twist my words tonight, toward people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Antagonistic or prejudice against antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is minority and marginalized. Yeah. So Joe Rogan, to me, was very, very stupid in using that word 72 times. If they would have yanked down where over 12 years, he said it 4 times, like that's still an inappropriate dog, but maybe he did have some context. Then I would have to go back and listen to the context to be like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And just keep on going. However, 72 times, you've made your point. It's dumb. It's stupid. Why are you continuously doing that? Stop. Okay? Then there's the Planet of the Apes comment. And so Joe Rogan did say that the Planet of the Apes comment, give me 1 second, guys. Daddy, love you. Night, baby. Sorry, I had to take a kiss the baby goodnight break. Okay, so Joe Rogan made a comment about Planet of the Apes, right? So I'm assuming this was when the original Planet of the Apes was coming out, the remake, the original of the remakes. So I know Planet of the Apes goes back long years, but we're talking about the ones where they actually had good graphics. Well, you know what? When Planet of the Apes first came out, they did pretty good for the technology that was out back then. So let me not say that. The latest versions of Planet of the Apes always been good movies to me, for what I remember. But the new ones were pretty damn cool. And apparently he was in a cab, and they were going to see it. And Rogan made mention that he stepped out into Planet of the Apes because it was an all-black neighborhood. Joe Rogan says it was a joke that missed. Joe Rogan is a comedian, okay? Like, I'm not saying it to be funny, like he is a comedian. He said it was a joke that missed, all right? And then he went on to say that he went into the theater and it was full of black people, and that's where the Planet of the Apes came out. So you're going to see Planet of the Apes. Damn, we get out this cab, we in an all-black neighborhood. It's like we walked into Planet of the Apes. And that clip right there, that part of the story is where he says it was a joke that missed. He deleted it right after that show aired, but not before clearly the internet did what the internet does. Because Joe Rogan did say he realized how horrible that sounded, and he tried to delete that immediately, but obviously it lived on. And he went on to talk about how he went into the theater and there was a lot of black people in the theater. And he was like, hey, man, you know that thing when they say black people talking during a movie is absolutely true. And, you know, but who the hell am I to tell them to shut up? I'm in their neighborhood. We're having a good time. It's all good. So that was the rest of it. I wouldn't, you know, the black people talking during a movie thing. I'm not, look, man, I'm not worried about that. I'm not. The Planet of the Apes comment. I'm not a comedian, so I don't understand how to structure and write jokes and things like that. But that missed badly. If that's called a miss, it missed horribly. Because that's wrong. We all understand that calling black people monkeys or apes is inflammatory. It's insulting. So to say that you went to go see Planet of the Apes and you got out the car and you walked into Planet of the Apes and follow that up with it because it was a bunch of black people. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? So those two things were very idiotic on Joe's part. Very idiotic, careless, insensitive, reckless, irresponsible, stupid, idiotic, moronic, silly, hurtful. Period. What do you want me to say about it? Period. There is no 72 times I was just giving it in context. I can't give you that. The joke that missed, like I said, I'm not a comedian, so I could be missing some connectivity there. But clearly, you even knew it sounded messed up because you deleted it before the internet grabbed it. Very stupid. Very dumb. Irresponsible. Okay. So, that's all I can say about that. Now we get to the part of, do we cancel him? So we understand that it's wrong, but I do want you guys to remember, and I'm going to take a pause there and read the comments to see if it's something I need to catch up on in this segment of the conversation before we move on. But what I do want you to understand is this. If you are not of an ethnic group that uses any kind of terminology toward each other, my biggest thing is, if you understand that it's insulting and that it's negative, despite what anybody else is doing, why do you want to say it? I have never seen so many non-Black people be so hyped up on wanting to use the N-word. Why do you want to say it? If you understand that it causes whether you agree or not, but if you understand it's negative and you understand that other people are using it, even the people that are supposed to be offended by it, in a different, with a different slang to it, why do you want to say it? So, and that's a question for you. Because freedom? Is that why? So sure, we absolutely have the freedom to say whatever the hell we want to say. But you're not free of the consequences. So, but why? Before we even get to the consequences, why do non-Black people want to say a word that they understand is hurtful to Black people, despite whoever else is using it? Because your mom and dad said it and the neighbors across the street said it, all of a sudden you want to use it? And what I see a lot of people poking their chest out to say is, and what are you going to do about it? Well, we ain't got to talk about that publicly. And frankly, many times, there's nothing you can do. What are you going to do? Every time a white person walks down the street and says the N-word, you're gonna fight them every time? Let me tell you, Black people, how that could be. Let me tell you how that can get you off your pivot real quick. If you are, say, the change agent in your family, and you are the one that is fixing all those generational curses that you've been through, and then somebody, you've worked 40, 45 years to fix your life, and then somebody walks down the street and says a word to you, and you beat the shit out of them and go to prison and catch a felony record, no more owning guns, no more having your good job, it's going to be hard for you to financially gain, you're screwed because somebody said a word. Give me a word with some actions, and then we can talk. But I'm not going to be easily moved by cowards that understand by me saying a word could pull you off your position and cost you everything. It took me 3 seconds to utter a word. It just cost you 35 years of building. It just cost you generations. Now you starting all over. Now I have succeeded in taking a dad out the household with his children because I called you a word. And you know what the crazy part is? I can say a word and you can beat the hell out of me. You can shoot me. You're going to go to prison. I'm going home. And so now I get to say the word to the next guy I see. And until somebody kills me, I get to keep saying it. But when you kill me, you kill yourself. You kill your lineage. You kill all the things that you're trying to rebuild. You kill everything. So don't let somebody pull you off your pivot over a word, man. Are you real? Come on, man. Now, I'm not saying it ain't hard if you sitting around having a couple of drinks and somebody getting comfortable with the word. It's hard to resist getting up, knocking their teeth down their throat. I get that. But we have to look at the bigger picture. And that's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. It's hard. It's challenging. Makes me lose more hair. Okay? Let me look at the comments real quick. Okay. Everybody seems to still be on the same page. I can't say for sure what's in his mind is real thoughts. I don't like the N-word. I get frustrated when I hear it, even when it's N at the N-A. Yep. So That's why I'm not. That's why I say this thing is not that simple, because it's so dynamic. Even Rogan himself said it's a very interesting word. He said it's the most interesting word that we have. But I've already given you the history of the word. And I've already told you, not even all black people agree with it being used. Black people are not a monolith. Every black person does not agree with that word. I know people right now that won't listen to music, or they only buy the edited version because of that word and not because of the curse words. All right. But I go back to why do you want to use it? If you know it's meant for harm, why do you want to use it? If you think it's stupid for other people to be using it, why do you want to use it? And I'm talking to the individual. I ain't even talking about Rogan right now. And then we get to, what should we do with Rogan? Okay. Let me ask you a question before we talk about what should we do with Rogan. And I'm talking specifically to black people right now, but everybody's welcome to listen to this part of the conversation because you're doing it anyway. What do we do with Rogan? Let me answer that question with a question. What do we do with Joe Biden? What do we do with the Clintons? What do you do about them? Because your sitting president of the United States has shared the word. He has shared actions. He has actually put black people in prison unfairly, to the point where he himself had apologized for it. And black people in large numbers, not all, black people in large numbers said, we forgive you. So we forgive you for calling us the N-word. We forgive you for supporting the fact that we were super predators. Joe Rogan made the inappropriate Planet of the Apes statement, which was dumb and inappropriate, stupid, and hurtful. Joe Biden substituted that with super predator. Okay. Joe Rogan actually said, speaking of monkeys, Joe Biden actually said that he doesn't want black kids in a classroom with white kids because he doesn't want to create a jungle. I'm paraphrasing, but the word jungle was used, and he did say he didn't want you in class with the white kids. So I'm gonna need to know, with roughly 47 to 50 million people that identify as black or African American in this country, he still got a lot of damn votes. And I remember him apologizing. I also remember him telling you that you ain't even black if you vote for Donald J. Trump. Now, why would I say that? It's in comparison to what Joe Rogan had to say about mixed people having the athletic body and build of a black person with the mind of a white man, which he did go on to say. I'm not saying that black people aren't smart, but you kind of get the context, right? Everybody understood what he was saying. Okay. I don't think that was the smartest thing either. However, the other Joe Biden, said that you're stupid and you have ignored your own culture and ethnicity if you decide to use the freedom that was afforded to you to vote for somebody that wasn't him. So I need to know, when people ask me, are we canceling Joe Rogan? How are you canceling Joe Rogan and we hired Joe Biden? That's what I'm gonna need to understand. And people still support, not all, but people still support his system. Still hoping that Hillary comes back in 2024 to run for president, or at least vice president. They want to kick Kamala out, hope Hillary takes the VP seat. Really? We still supporting Hillary? Why? Because she says she got hot sauce in her purse on a syndicated radio show that has a large black audience? Is that why? Look, folks. I don't support cancel culture. I don't. I'm not a fan of cancel culture. I'm not. Never will be. I think people, individuals, you and me, can look at information and we can make an individual decision about whether we'll continue to absorb, support, or even acknowledge things that exist, people that exist, platforms that exist, businesses that exist. We can make that decision for ourselves. Give me the information. I will come up with my own feeling about said information, and I will make a decision. But I'm going to tell you how everyone is being played. When Rogan was being called out for the C20-1 situation, CNN was dogging him out. Conservative Party at mass and at large, and Fox News was all jumping in saying protect Rogan at all costs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm going to make something very clear. I agree with that. I agree with the fact that the man should have a platform where he can speak, be free to speak, and nobody has the ability to come in and shut you down because they don't like what you said. I agree with that. In theory and in principle, I agree with that. Now, how many times dealing with civil and human rights, posts have been taken down, pages have been deleted because somebody said something that somebody else didn't like? I can't support that. I don't like cancel culture. I think everyone has the ability to decide whether they want to support a thing or a person or not, period. So when we start having a conversation about what to do about Rogan, I'm going to caution you to watch how you get riled up when somebody that doesn't give a damn about you anyway called in for assistance. But back to that conservative party, because they ain't cleaning this either. When the N-bomb was getting dropped, so COVID-19, I almost said it all the way through to C20-1, when that was the hot topic and it was about speech, I agreed with that. Like, you can't tell this man to shut up because you don't like what he said. Man, kick rocks. So then the video clips start coming out with the N-word with the hard ER. Those start coming out. The Planet of the Apes thing came out. The conservative party and all their pundits were real quiet. Matter of fact, even after that video came out, they would talk about Rogan, but they would only talk about the C20-1 thing. They still would not bring it up. But this is the same party at the same time that will play all the clips of Joe Biden saying racially insensitive things because they don't like him. But when it came to somebody that they were actively backing and supporting, they got real mute when it came to his indiscretions. I want you to pay attention to how you're being played. If you agree with a thing, you agree with it. If you don't, you don't. But you better stop paying attention to news cycles and media giants telling you how you should feel. It is very easy to see. Very easy. Just sit back, watch the energy. It's very easy to see. So for me, should we cancel Joe Rogan? Cancel Joe Biden. And then we can have an even further discussion and conversation. That's honestly how I feel about it. Do I think Rogan was wrong, misplaced, stupid? Was it an ignorant thing to do? Insensitive? A little bit bold and a little bit of machismo sprinkled in there to say it over 70 times? You damn right. And anybody that's ignoring that is foolish. Do I think that Joe Rogan should lose his platform? No. Do I think people have a right to decide whether they're going to go listen or support Joe Rogan or Spotify or any of Rogan's sponsors? Yes. They have the freedom to do so. And you nor I get to tell somebody else what they can do. But do I think that there should be a mass calling to eliminate the man from the face of the earth and take his platform away? Nope. I think people can make their own decisions about whether they want to go watch it or not, if they want to continue to absorb the information or not. Just like some people are appreciate the apology and other people don't. What I am calling for is people keeping the same selective energy. If we are going to say he's ignorant, because he is for that, I don't give a damn about you being mad about it. He's wrong. Period. 72 times, get real. They also deleted 113 episodes, I think, for various reasons. That reason and other reasons. 113 episodes deleted. And I don't know what all of them for. I know it's for various things, opinions and stuff like that. But the N-word was one of them. He's wrong. But when you start talking about eliminating him, canceling them. Why so selective? Why so selective? So I'm supposed to sit on the couch and get high blood pressure yelling about Joe Rogan? Let's take lessons learned. I have literally, and I mean this seriously, I literally started losing my hair because I was getting so stressed out, bringing up the wrongs of people, the political wrongs, the violation of human rights and civil rights, fighting for gun rights, mentoring. I'm out here doing all this work, stressing the hell out. And one of the things that I have been yelling about since before it was cool to yell about it was Joe Biden. Most people just got on this Biden train in the last 4 years, 2 years maybe. I've been on this Biden train for over 20 years. For over 20 years, I've been at his neck. I ain't new to this shit at all. And I have literally lost hair over it. And now I'm supposed to, I don't know, all my hair gone. So high blood pressure over Rogan. But if I've been yelling at black folks about for 20 years about being upset about something, that's something that somebody directly did to you, put your ass in prison, called you out of your name, disrespects your intelligence, doesn't want you in their school systems, fosters systemic racism, despises your very existence, uses you at every turn, shows you they have no regard for you. Even when they have such a low regard for you, when it came to having a conversation about the C20-1 thing, they did rap videos to educate you. Do you not see the disrespect that they have for you? On this wall behind me are a couple of collegiate degrees. I'm a black man in this country that's worked my ass off. And when I'm trying to listen to information about the health and welfare of my family, my community, and my country, you decide that the best way to educate me is through a damn rap song? And you ruined the classic, by the way, in the process. Vax that thing up. Where you promoted getting a C20-1 shot over safe sex. Explicitly in the video, it was get the shot and then go sleep with Scott. Nothing about wrapping it up. So all of a sudden, to push their agenda, they will pay a couple of puppets, lost all respect for Juvenile after that. They'll go pay a couple of puppets to pander to you, to show you just how low they think of you, to go get something that could alter the course of your life. Instead of giving you the information, allowing other people to give you information, and then you making a sound, intelligent decision with the information that's been presented to you, and go out and do whatever you decide to do. But no, they never have respected you. They play on you at every turn. Does it dismiss what Joe Rogan said? Absolutely not. He is accountable for his actions, just like you and I are. I'm not saying anything I wouldn't say to you that you should not say to me. Joe Rogan is not a god. He should be held accountable. What you should be cautious of, though, is when people say cancel. Cancel? Cancel? What are we canceling? I tell you what, you can have a conversation with me about jumping on a cancel Joe Rogan train when we start having a conversation about how this country and these people that are telling you guys that we should go out and cancel Rogan, that support Biden. Now explain to me how somebody can be telling you to cancel Rogan for using any inappropriate language when Joe Biden has used the same inappropriate language but backed it up with action by putting your black ass in prison, by destroying your family, by making sure you don't have the financial advantages of other people in this country, by disrespecting you at every turn, by taking advantage of your systems and putting poison in them to kill you. By making sure that all the information you received is dumbed down. And anytime anybody has any amount of respect for you to say, we're going to talk to you just like we talk to the rest of America because we believe that you are intelligent enough to make your own decisions, as soon as those platforms decide to do that, they eliminate those platforms because, case in point, you can't have nobody educating the niggers. You can't have nobody giving them truth. You can't have nobody preaching freedom to them. So no man is above his sins. Rogan is responsible for his words. I'm just not the person to tell you what consequence you deal to him. That's what cancel culture is. I have no control over what you click, what you watch. I don't. Do as you feel. Do as you feel. I'm not supporting cancel culture because I could be the next victim of it. Do as you feel as an individual. Because he was wrong. Flat out. However, this is a great opportunity for you to start listening and paying attention to just how mainstream the hatred for your black ass is. Because as soon as somebody wants to just talk to you and respect you and give you truth, they'll eliminate them. You got to cancel them because we can't have these niggers being educated. We can't. But what we can do is take advantage of America at large, short-term memory. We can put out individuals and tell them to say things like, just get over it. Just get over race. Broke my fucking heart when I heard T.I. say, we need to stop telling people who died for them. Bullshit. That's the problem. We want to live so fast, we forget how we got here. You need to understand you are entitled to your feelings about Rogan because what he said was insensitive. It was stupid. And I'm not saying anything Rogan hasn't said. In his own, 4.5, 5-minute statement, I'm not saying nothing he ain't said. You make a decision. If you forgive him, you forgive him. If you don't, you don't. But make that decision as an independent individual and understand exactly how you got to where you are when you're making that decision. And you be okay with your decision. I don't get to tell you what to do. CNN don't get to tell you what to do. Make your own decision. But what we need to pay attention to is why you want to have a discussion about cancellation. How about we cancel the racist motherfuckers that's telling you to cancel the dude they calling racist? How about that? How about we have a conversation with the very network that is making sure they keep black people like myself from educating this country about the responsibility and relationship Black America now has with firearms, which is attached to freedom, which is attached to standing up for you, what you believe in, which is attached to protecting your family, which is attached to protecting your neighborhood, which is attached to making sure you don't use guns reckless, which is attached to personal accountability. How about we have a conversation with the network that refuses to use their platform for the proper education of black people when it comes to shit like that? How about we have that conversation? And don't tell me they don't know who I am, because I was a victim of one of their hit pieces that they took down before I got a chance to watch it. So they know who the fuck we are. They know the information that is being shared. They don't even have the nuts to have a responsible conversation about the balance of taking 50 million people in this country and bringing them up on level. But what they will do is make sure that anybody that disagrees with them, anybody that doesn't share their sentiment, anybody that is about freedom, education, personal accountability, personal responsibility, stand your ass up, take the hard hits, tell you what, fuck it. Let's all take the hard hits together. Hey, I want to sit down at the table and have a conversation with you without the media's interference, without politicians' interference. Anybody that does that, that is willing to have a conversation, it's a fucking threat. You can't have people talking. That's ridiculous. So what CNN did is they stepped in the ring with Rogan and Spotify and got their ass whooped. And they called Joe Black ass for help. That's what happened. That's what occurred. So you need to be offended or not based off how you feel about what happened with Rogan, not who told you about it, not how you found out. And from there, make your own decision. But don't you dare let people to continue to insult your intelligence and your critical thinking ability by telling you you need to join the rage mob and just do as we say. It's insulting, it's degrading, and they are making a fucking mockery of you. Hear me and understand me. Their ignorance does not absolve Rogan of his sins. He needs to deal with that. And I believe he is dealing with that. But you don't jump in the fight because they told you to be hurt. You don't jump in a fight because they told you to be mad. Your ass ain't tired of being used by these people yet. You ain't tired of that? You think I'm more, should you be more concerned? And I'm not saying you shouldn't be concerned about both. You can be concerned about both. But should you be more concerned about a man using a word or a man putting your ass in prison? Should you be more concerned about a man using a word or a man making sure that you're paying, a man that is taking finances from your home via taxes? Should you be concerned with a man using a word or a man displaying the fact that he hates your black ass every day of his damn life, and he uses the largest government in the world to continue to show your black ass just how he doesn't care about you, and then has the nerve to tell you that if you think for a second I'm not the best option and your ass ain't black anyway? Let me tell you the partial truth in his brain when he said that. You ain't supposed to be nothing but a dumb nigga. So do as I say. Joe Biden wasn't just telling you you wasn't black if you didn't vote for him. He was telling you that because you were black, you're supposed to be dumb enough not to know that there is another option. Your black ass ain't supposed to be smart enough. You go along to get along and do as I say, nigger. Do as I say. And it hurts my fucking heart to see that you're constantly out here letting these people drive you to decisions, man. Take said information, process said information, talk it over with some of your friends, people you know that you can challenge each other about different thought processes. Sit on it for a minute. And if you feel that you are offended and you yourself are going to protest or boycott Joe Rogan, then you as an individual are able to make that decision. Joe Rogan himself would agree with that. I don't have to repeat how stupid and dumb and ignorant and insensitive and moronic he was, because he said it. I've said it here several times, and I'm standing on that. But I'm not about to join this cancel culture mob because they found another reason to piss off the black people. Maybe we'll be having a different conversation if they just release this independent of their agenda. People, you know what this is? This Rogan thing is? This is just a different version of Black Lives Matter all over again. Black Lives Matter was never about your black ass in the street. That was about the LGBTQ community. And the LGBTQ community was used to push forward an agenda that involved finances and money. Because as that community grew and as that community became more brave with speaking out about their truths and their identities, then that community made it clear that they have financial power and control and influence in a lot of ways, and that people better get with it. So the people that understood that they need this community for votes, favors, finances, progression, they threw black people in front of it. Per Black Lives Matter on website, never said a thing about a black man. But they did talk about LGBTQ community in their about section on our own page. It's ran by 3 women. And the one man that was on the board, a ranking official, happened to be a homosexual man. And they never mentioned black men in their about section. Right now, they're being investigated for what they did with the money that they received. They used that to push the LGBTQ agenda. As a matter of fact, everybody that runs Black Lives Matter identifies as something outside of heterosexual. If you didn't know that. All 3 of them. Well, the 3 that run it now. That are the faces of it anyway. They all identify as something outside of being heterosexual. They use that to push a different agenda. And now with the Joe Rogan experience, they are using something that maybe you should be concerned about. Maybe you want to have a conversation about. Maybe you want to, challenge Rogan on his thought processes. Then maybe you want to listen to him explain why he thinks it's okay for him to do such a thing. Okay, cool. But no. It wasn't until they made you recognize and feel a way about the sins of another man. The crazy thing is, if they can get Rogan out the way, what you think they're going to do to your black ass? What you think they're going to do to me? I'm nowhere near as powerful as Rogan. Nowhere near. They're using you. If you want to be mad at Rogan because you want to be mad at Rogan. Don't let somebody else tell you to be mad at Rogan. You don't want to watch that show anymore? Don't watch it. Nobody can tell you different. If you decide to forgive him and you accept his apology, cool. And you keep watching, cool. That's your decision. You get to make that decision. If you decide, hey, I never was really into it anyway, and I'm not kind of offended one way or another, okay. Because as an individual, I don't have to agree with your decision, but you do have the freedom to have it. But what you should also use your own independent freedom of thought to discern is when somebody is playing you, people. So let me try to catch up on these comments in this chat for a minute. My bad, I got on a rant there. I need a sip of my coffee, man. Y'all got me over here tripping. Let me get my coffee. And I'm drinking Blackout coffee, by the way. Make sure you on IG, you go to my link. Here, let me pull it up. If y'all drink coffee, man, I'm gonna throw this in here for y'all real quick. I'm gonna get in these comments. And I hope y'all subscribing to the channel, man. I'm gonna need y'all to do me a favor. I'm gonna need y'all bus to get signed up on this. Get people to subscribe to this channel, because the videos and stuff that we're gonna have coming out are pretty cool. I'm doing this for a reason. Trying to go over here and get you guys a link. Because I really do like Blackout coffee. So if you are a coffee drinker, I'm gonna drop you this link. Use the link, people. I'm gonna drop you this link if you like coffee, man. Go and get you some Blackout coffee, ran by a real believer in the Second Amendment. The company believes in rights, freedom. So I rock with them, right? I rock with them in a lot of different ways. So go get you some Blackout coffee, man. All right, that's what I'm drinking right now. I got the blueberry flavor. So let me catch up on some of these comments. Damn. Oh, you guys been in here chatting. Okay. Yeah, I see. What is this? Coy censorship is a very slippery slope. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is. That's why tread lightly, man. Yeah, I see people like a balance. I personally get mad at anyone, black or white or indifferent, that calls me Sorry. Heard some shots in the background. The N-word with the A or the ER, depending on the place or time, will determine if hands or words will be involved. Hey, Maxwell, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Let's see. Gen Z using it as an everyday word now. Soon it will have no meaning. Samson, I've noticed a lot of people, I equate what they're trying to do with the N-word with what they did with the Crip Walk. You know how like now it's okay to be in a gang? Like it's kind of cool. And I told people like Chris Brown ain't no gangbanger for real. I got no beef with Chris, but come on, man, let's keep it a buck. We was listening to you in Virginia singing romantic songs as a child. Like you don't come from that life, but it's a cool thing to do now. I think even Fat Joe said B2K Crip walking, like that's what's up. You know what I mean? Like I think they're doing it. They're trying to essentially do the same thing that the generation before them did with gangbanging, making it fashionable and making it cool. And I think they're trying to take that same approach. Derek, yeah, Biden is half the people Biden eat dinner with racist. All right, that dude, yeah. Oh, woo, you bring up a very good point. But yet this is the shit I'll be talking about. Whoop, congratulations, you sparked me on something else. I pointed out just between the two people, Rogan and Biden, right? Explain this to me. The Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You done supporting Rogan when the racist thing came out, but you rock with Biden. Rogan, I'm not saying either one of them are right. I want to be very, very clear about that. Somebody's like, oh, how you defend? I'm not defending nothing. I've said what I've said, and clearly I ain't in defense of it. But how do you denounce Rogan, but stand by Biden? Because Rogan's stupid and all those other things for saying the word. Biden's done the same thing. He just ain't been caught saying it 72 times publicly, but trust me, he's probably used it way more. However, one of them has ruined hundreds and thousands of Black families. One of them said he didn't want us educated with his kids. One of them reminds us that he dislikes us. One of them supports people that put us in prison. Why you rocking with this one, bro? And Rock, that's a serious question for Dwayne. Why you rocking with this one and denouncing that one? Why not denounce them both? It goes back to people trying to tell you what you should be mad about. They not even keeping that same energy. They not even keeping it. Be mad if you mad. Don't be mad if you ain't mad. Don't let nobody stir up some emotions in your ass that don't exist. And don't nothing talk like your dollar. Let me make that very clear. Don't nothing talk like your dollar. Some companies I don't rock with, I don't even say nothing about them, man. You don't get my money. Period. If you don't rock with Rogan no more, you don't rock with Rogan no more. If you still rock with Rogan, I don't hate you for it. You got the freedom to do whatever you want to do. If you in the middle and indifferent, like, man, I never subscribed in the first place. I kind of watch his clips on YouTube every now and then. And you, nobody gets to tell you how to feel. But they also don't get to tell you how to vote. They also shouldn't be calling upon you when they're getting their ass whooped and they just need you to come help out. Rogan was kicking their ass. They had to call in some help. Nothing like the Black savior. We talk about a white savior complex. Black people got it too. That Black savior complex came in real quick. What do you need? They said the N-word? Great. But never mind when we were putting all that marketing out for that C20-1 thing that we essentially was calling you dumb N-words any damn way. Essentially, that's what we were doing. Come on, man. Vax that thing up. So I'm supposed to be mad at Joe Rogan for having Robert Malone on, who's slowly and methodically breaking down the research, the science, his input, providing his professional opinion, giving us the data, giving us sources, citing his information, giving us behind the scenes information. I'm supposed to be mad at that? That's who I'm supposed to be mad at. but I'm supposed to be thrilled with the individuals that don't think that I deserve to hear it, who don't think I'm smart enough to comprehend. It's amazing that they kept on telling Black folks, this is affecting your community in disproportionate ways. And I have people DMing me, asking me like, bro, you're supposed to be about, I understand that you about freedom, but how can you not say, go get the jab when you know it's going to benefit Black people more than anything? Because that was a motherfucking lie. That's why. You know what you should have did? You know why Black people were being impacted by it heavy? One, I still think the numbers were skewed. That's just one. That's just what I believe. Two, when you look at what weakens your body, diet is part of that. And Black people have been yelling at other Black people about their diets. I'm clearly guilty of it, not always eating the right things, doing the right things. And that's what I'm trying to correct now as I have a cup of coffee. But I'm not doing the sodas and all that stuff. I will have my coffee, more water, alkaline, all these things, nutrients, vegetables, blah, blah, blah. Get some of this weight off me like I did before. I've lost a lot of weight before and I'm about to do it again. Got no problem with it, right? But that's that accountability piece. Be accountable for your diet. Be accountable for your health. And if you think you need to do better, get your ass out there like I'm doing and get better. Everybody else is doing better. Keep sharing information on how people can get better. But that was a lie. They just knew that would tug on your heartstrings. And then to the other people that side with them, understanding that, oh, some of these white people that believe they always have to come save Black folks, what that's doing is giving them, like, yes, poor Black people, they don't know how to pick out the right groceries. They're being affected. We got to save them. We got to go help them. So they convince them that you ain't smart. You can't figure this thing out. You can't say, oh, shit, maybe it's time we start changing up some of the diets. Hey, one way we can do that is start killing these damn food deserts. Hey, yo, so politicians, one thing we need to do is start eating healthy. Hey, why y'all punk asses ain't bringing us no fresh grocery stores? Why are the fucking Whole Foods in the suburbs? The motherfuckers already got plenty of grocery stores. Can we get something besides a Save-A-Lot 3 miles from my house? If we lucky enough to get that. You mean to Save-A-Lot with none of the fresh food and all the fucking shit full of preservatives? How come I can't get a Whole Foods? How come you can't give loans and grants to the brothers that want to open up fresh market gardens in our communities so we can start eating healthier, educating each other how to eat healthier, thus not need nobody to put nothing extra in our bodies to survive this thing or anything else that comes our way? Matter of fact, that's going to help us with processing information, being more athletic, being smarter, thinking clearer, and all those things, maybe even calming some of the anger down, emotionally more balanced. Hey, yo, we need some fresh food around this joint. But you know what they do? They tell your Black ass, don't listen to people like Robert Malone on Joe Rogan's show. Matter of fact, let me piss you off real quick, but you will tune his ass out and disregard what Malone said, which is something else a lot of people are ignoring. So let me distract you real quick. Nigga, look, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to ignore that. Hey, they asked for fresh market grocery stores in their neighborhoods. No, they asked us for loan money. Hey, tell them we're out. Send them through the SBA. Make them go through a ton of bureaucracy. Make sure we give them the runaround. We'll tell them that this form is new. Oh, you got to go back to your alderperson and apply. Run them through bureaucracy and red tape so they don't get that fresh market grocery store that's only 2 blocks from their houses instead of one that's maybe 4 to 5 miles away from their houses that's full of preservatives. Don't put anything that's good for them close to them. Hey, as a matter of fact, tell them we're out of money, but at the same time, that guy from the Middle East or those people from Asia, make sure we give them a loan when they come over into the country to open up nail salons and corner stores that only sell foods that are full of preservatives like sodas, chips. We might have a couple of steaks in the back, but guess what? The steak's so damn high you can't afford it. So now you're going to get the cheapest, fattiest, nastiest fucking steaks you can get anyway. And even that's going to be too expensive for their Black asses. Put that shit over there. So get them money to them other people to open businesses in their neighborhoods that still don't serve them the same bullshit. That way their ass don't get better, okay? Tell them we out of money, though. Tell them it's bureaucracy. Tell them we don't have it because we don't need these niggas thinking. Take this jab. You don't need none of this fresh food and education and information and nutrients and shit like that. No, you don't need no fresh gardens in your neighborhood. You don't need no Robert Malone talking to you on Joe Rogan's podcast. Hey, Pull out the secret weapon against Rogan. What is it, sir? Piss the black people off. Figure something out. You want to start having a conversation with somebody outside of how you feel about Rogan, because you can do whatever you want to do with that. Start having a conversation with your local politicians and your federal government that's ran by Joseph Biden, and ask them why they are calling you a nigger every single day of your damn life, even when they're not saying a word. Ask them why they're calling you a nigger because of the way they treat you. Ask them why they're calling you a nigger when they still allow companies like Bank of America to continuously be sued for unfair lending practices when it comes to giving black people equal loans when it comes to homes. Why don't you try asking them that? Because Bank of America is tied in with the federal government and does a ton of money with the federal government, and it is even backed by the federal government. So why don't you ask Joseph Biden why his administration is continually supporting a financial institution that is being sued multiple times and has in the past for racial discrimination when it comes to fair lending practices? Why don't you go have a conversation about that? Why don't you ask your local mayor, how come they haven't got that fresh market for you? And why don't you ask them, why are you more concerned with what Robert Malone said on Joe Rogan than you are with putting fresh markets in my community? Why are you more concerned with me being educated by a doctor on a podcast than you are about making my educational system better through action and not words? You want me to direct my energy to help pull off a massive podcast because you believe what he did was insulting? And hell, I might even agree. But I'm supposed to be more concerned about that and less concerned about the fact that you're calling me a nigger every single day of my life? Okay. I'm getting these comments. Now, y'all active in here. So, man, look, I'm just trying to. This is what we need to be, understanding. I'm tired of people telling people how to feel. And feel like you want to feel. You got the freedom to do so. Freedom to do so. Period. You know what I mean? But don't be used and don't be distracted. Fuck out of here. I'm supposed to spend, hours of my life trying to make sure that man gets pulled off, when at the same motherfucking time, the people that want to pull him off and trying to keep me from progressing, fuck out of here, man. I'm not going to be used as nobody pawn. I might play that pawn game if I can see how the end goal benefits me. So somebody tell me how all the black people supporting getting Rogan yanked off, how does that benefit black people? Because the same people that's pulling them down are the same ones calling you nigga every day. The same ones that are putting misinformation out on their platforms all the time. The same people that prompt up somebody who called you a super. I understand this. CNN supports Joe Biden openly all the time and will continue to do so. When this is the dude that called you an N-word on the floor in Congress, called you an N-word in Congress, told people that his family needs to be safe from you. Google it if you think I'm lying. It's a video. We have to get these predators off the street because my mom, my daughter, my family needs to feel safe. I don't care what they went through or how they got there. We need them off the streets. So forget how the system was structured and built the communities. Forget the fact that you are a career politician that has played a part in how those systems were developed. Forget that the communities have been targeted for so many years in so many different ways. Forget all those things. You stand your ass in Congress and say, I don't care how they got there. We need to do something about them. And don't let these niggas in the classroom with my kids. I don't want a racial jungle at my schools. Y'all act like we just didn't segregate schools in the 60s, and this punk ass said it in the late 80s. Still telling you right after you got the right, less than a lifetime, to have a chance to do something better. Your president said he didn't want you to have the opportunity. You mad at the wrong Joe. You could be mad at Rogan. You need to be pissed at Biden. You can check Rogan. Why don't you cancel Biden, though? You can say I don't appreciate what the hell Rogan did. But why you appreciate what Biden doing? Both of them apologized. Man, look. One of them don't even want your black ass to have guns. So when he decided to send his counterparts to really hate your black ass, you can't do nothing about it. Because one of them is truly trying to strip you of your freedom. Really trying to strip you of your freedom. The other one just said some stupid shit. And it's a consequence for that. 72 times ain't no excuse for that, bro. No excuse for that. But whatever your consequence is, what I'm not going to do is join the cancel mob. I'm not doing that because I'm not going to help these motherfuckers cancel somebody when I know up under their breath. Soon as we get through whooping Rogan ass, now you got all that energy for me again. Soon as we get through huffing and puffing from kicking his ass, we going to stand up and then you going to use something to come and attack me. Anybody can help you with that shit. You got your ass whooped. Rogan whooped your ass. Then you called in your black superheroes for help. Black folks, white folks, Indian folks. If you mad at Rogan for what he said, independently on your own, be mad at him. Handle that whichever way you want to handle that. If you ain't mad, you weren't really that offended by it, you got bigger shit that you fighting, okay. But don't you dare allow your enemy to use you as a pawn in a fight. Got to be smarter than that, man. Got to be smarter than that. Let me make something very clear to you. So my shirt says, Harriet would have smacked the shit out of you, right? Because of what Rogan did 72 times, Harriet would have smacked the shit out of Rogan. I don't give a damn how good he can fight. I'm going to smack shit out of Rogan. She would have shot Biden. There's a difference. Get my point? Because there is a difference. Neither one of them are right, but there are levels to wrong, baby. I've been wrong before. I've done things I shouldn't did. And I'm not saying I'm comparing myself to Rogan, because I don't think I've ever insulted an entire group of people like he did. Matter of fact, I know I ain't done that. I might have done some shit, but I ain't done that. But all right, every man got his own sins. Rogan got to account for his. I've been preaching accountability. This ain't nothing new to me. I've been telling everybody, man, you got to be accountable. I don't like Brandon Tatum punk ass. And I think everybody knows that. I don't like him. And I don't care which one of y'all do. I don't like him. I don't. For a lot of reasons. But I've never told you to unsubscribe from him. I've never told you don't follow him. I've never told you don't buy his merch. I've never told you any of that. I haven't. I've never said unfollow, unsubscribe. I've never said that. Many of y'all follow both of us. Okay. I'm about grown people being given information, being given education, and making their own decisions. I think critical thinking is a lost art, and we need to promote it. I myself at times have been guilty about, even internally, without saying stuff publicly, been guilty of like really jumping the gun before I had a chance to process stuff, right? And that's in history of my life, that's cost me. That's cost me. When I just put out a clip of Stogies and Straps, when I had Ken Scott on there, I said that I'm celebrating 14 years of sobriety. My 14 years of sobriety are from violence. Have people talking like they tough. I ain't never been a tough guy. I just like to fight. And I liked violence. I liked conflict because that's what I was bred in. Was born in it. Lived it every day. Life or death, every day. That's why I had all the surgeries that I had and got all the damn scars on my body now. I was with it. But that ain't smart. That ain't cool. That ain't intelligent. That's not pushing my country forward. That's not helping my people. I ain't doing none of that. Just an idiot in the streets fighting. So I had to learn how to check that. I had to learn how to reel that in. So I'm 14 years sober from having to put my hands on someone outside of work. I think about 10 years ago, I was doing a security detail. I had to do something, but that was work. Don't count. But I don't want to live that life anymore. I'm not that man anymore. Matter of fact, I wasn't even a man. That was a young boy who just didn't know no better, who didn't know how to process his thoughts, who was passionate and sometimes misguided, who was quick to think and quicker to act, and who was blessed by the mercy of God that somebody had put his ass in the ground. Or I ain't wound up in prison because Lord knows statute of limitations don't expire on some stuff, right? But it does on others. So I have learned to slow down, and I'm pretty good at it now because this ain't something I started learning yesterday. I mean, this is 14 years of working on that. Learn to slow down and really think. And in that process, I learned how to focus on when people are using me. That's one reason why I left law enforcement. Y'all using me for my size. I'm being used, and I'm being used in a system that I see mistreating people. It's not the justice system, it's a legal system. And I mean that for Black people and non-Black people. I didn't feel in my heart of hearts I wanted to be used anymore. So the best way that I can help people is to not be used by anyone and to start using my own voice and my own free will. And then I can help everybody I want to help. That's what was best for me. Many people remain in different systems, medical systems, justice systems, financial systems, because they feel their place is there to help people or to try to change that system. I felt mine was leaving and getting out every damn day in these streets and fighting for rights. Mentoring, helping, fostering minds, challenging thought processes. That's what I wanted to do. And teach Americans how to beat bad people. And that's what I do. That's what I do. Because when I'm not talking to you, I'm teaching somebody how to handle situations that might require a different level of force. All right? So I had to learn how to slow down and start thinking and being a little bit more rational. And one of the consequences of that, and I want you to know a consequence can either be positive or negative. One of the consequences of that was being able to process and develop critical thinking and understand and see things in many different ways from many different angles when appropriate. And allow me to understand that you can feel and you can act as an individual as you see fit. But the same way I see people joining the cancel culture to get rid of folks, it's the same thing we used to see on the block all the time. When Big Homie mad at somebody, the OG, when he mad at somebody, he convinces you and plays mind games with you to convince you that that's your enemy as well. Well, he really doesn't have your best intentions at heart. He could care less about you. It's the same thing with CNN and these leftist politicians in the whole 9 yards. And the right ain't innocent either. Because like I said, as soon as it was the C20-1 thing in Joe Rogan, the right was all over it. As soon as that N-bomb dropped, the right ignored it. Kept talking about the C20 minus 19 minus one thing, but wouldn't talk about the other thing. So everybody got their own agenda. Everybody's pushing their own agenda, but don't you dare allow people to use you. And let me make something very clear about this too. I know a lot of individuals that follow me do not identify as Black or African American because they are something else normally. The reason why I have these conversations is because I understand in the fight of good versus evil, it's going to take everybody. It's going to take everybody, man. Now, I'm not ever going to tell someone that they should be deprived of their perspective, and I'll be damned if I let you deprive me of mine or downplay mine. Because unless you come from where I come from, have seen what I've seen, have done what I've done, with this skin on me, don't you tell me what it's like. You have no idea. Just like I can't tell you what your life has been like. I can't tell you what your life experiences have been. I can't tell you how to think. I can't tell you that because you're white or Native American that you haven't went through horrible things in your life. Who the fuck am I? Because that is your experience. That's the way that you view the world. But through all our different experiences, through all our different upbringings, the only way that we're going to win the ultimate fight of freedom, pursuit of happiness, equality, and everything else is we have to defeat evil. And the only way we're going to do that is together. And sometimes that's going to take a lot of soul searching, a lot of self-checking, a whole lot of self-checking, and then some more self-checking. And if you are really about progressing and doing right by this country for either your local community or the country as a whole, whatever, wherever you fall at, wherever your mission is, I'm with it, whatever. Then it's got to be good versus evil. And the last thing we can afford to do is let somebody just use us as a pawn. I don't care what color you are. Not going to use me as a pawn. Become a critical thinker. Think independently of yourself. That's one great thing about me being, as my little sister Johanna told me, being politically homeless. And I've always been that. I've always been a free thinker, and I've always been a critical thinker to a degree. And it's really accelerated over the last decade plus, almost 2 decades now. Thinking slowly and very critical of things. But let me say this in conclusion. To all my beautiful Black folks out there that CNN, leftist politicians, entertainers in Hollywood is attempting to use to help their fight with Joe Rogan. I guess they forgot that man's an MMA fighter. They forgot that he can actually kick your ass. So I guess they they forgot that part. This isn't our fight. This isn't even, believe it or not, even though I agree, what Rogan did was very distasteful. I think I've said that like 30 times now. Even Rogan has said it himself. That's a battle. The war is what people misguiding you and attempting to control you and showing you that they can constantly use and play you anytime they see fit. CNN is not your friend. And just because they put some black girl magic on the screen, just because they show things that feed your own bias or your own prejudice or your own beliefs, either one, just because they tend to speak ill of people that you might also dislike, doesn't mean they're your friend. I don't give a fuck about you. Outside of your influence and draining you of your resources. CNN never showed up to Ferguson to show how that community was diversifying and the good work that was there. Like the 100 black men that were looking to rebuild the community and families in Ferguson. They never showed up for that. They showed up when the Mike Brown situation happened, though. And they showed up to show it as an area that was full of decay and destruction, when over 95% of the individuals that were tearing up that area didn't even live in it. They showed that. And as soon as the chaos left, so did they. They didn't send back any money. They didn't send back any support. What they did was assist in taking that group called 100 Black Men. They assisted or hid or didn't know they assisted, but they assisted in the machine of making sure that the leader of that group, Darren Seals, is no longer on this earth. And then that group mysteriously was hijacked and became this group called Black Lives Matter. That means no good intent toward Black people whatsoever. Unless you happen to be Black and part of the LGBT community, then they got your back. Other than that, they don't give a fuck about you. So CNN has helped with that. The president that they've propped up in front of you has never loved you, has never cared about you, will never love you, will never care about you. And he's done that through words and action. And the only thing he gave you after tormenting your family for over 20 years, separating your families, destroying your neighborhoods, leaving you without, overtaxing you, or getting you hooked on this dope called government assistance. Ain't nothing but a drug. It's just another drug. That's all it is. He ain't never loved you, man. But they're going to be the main ones. Them and their cronies are going to be the main ones up here now screaming that you need to cancel a man. You think they actually want you to cancel Joe Rogan because he said the N-word? Hold on. The camera died. Let me pop this fresh battery in. Don't go nowhere. I'm still here. Wrap this thing up in a minute, though. You think that they actually want you to cancel Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan said the N-word? You really think that that's what this is about? This ain't about that, man. This is about them and their level of censorship. It's about them not liking freedom. This is about them wanting to control what everyone hears, what everyone thinks. This is about them trying to save a network that is falling flat on its face. And this is about a little bit of corporate jealousy about how podcasting and independent shows and thinkers are actually more popular than groupthink platforms like CNN. And this goes for Fox too. But you're not going to use me either way. Especially if it ain't mutual. Because you Black people, you canceling Rogan get you what, man? That gets you one less platform for certain, if anything. It gets you one less platform to where you can actually hear somebody say some shit, whether you like it or not, but they're going to say it. Some of it you're going to like, some of it you might not, some of it's for your benefit, and some of it clearly is some shit you ain't going to appreciate, right? Because I don't think most people appreciated that when they heard it, not just Black people. So yeah, man, do better and be better. I'm gonna hop in these comments and then I'm gonna let y'all ride because I think I done covered everything that I could say in the last shit. How long have I been on here? I've been on this one, hour and 48 minutes, damn near 2 hours. So I'll get some comments in here. Yo, hey, y'all make sure y'all telling people to follow the channel too, man. Don't play your boy like that, man. Y'all be playing with me. Come on, so get people to follow the YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Like, come on, stop being like that. And get out your feelings if I said something you don't like. This was a pretty well-balanced conversation. We ain't always gonna agree. Suck it up. All right. But if you're gonna act, I've been very clear about how I feel and my thoughts. All right, take it or leave it. But I'm always gonna speak my truth because that's all I got. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna fluff stuff up with you. If nothing else, you ain't gotta like me, but you can respect the fact that I'm always gonna say what it is. Period. Like, we always gonna say what it is. Let's see here. From G-Webs, make a few of us mods so we can delete the spam bots that show up during the live streams. G-Webs, why don't we hop on an email or a group chat for you can tell me how to do that one of these days before I go live again, because I have no idea how to do that. But I will absolutely trust you to be a moderator, sir, along with a couple other people. So certainly. But this live thing, I think this is actually my first time going YouTube live on my actual computer. I got jealous of everybody with their little cool backgrounds and shit and they little LED lights. Like I got LED lights too. Like, I want to play with my lights. I don't think I'm doing the best job today. I could have did better. I couldn't think I could have made that one a different color. Y'all like the little sign in the background though, like my little NOC back there? That's cool. All right. Maybe you don't like it. I'm trying. Leave me alone. Right. But yeah, man, absolutely. Multiple middle-aged folks will never even come to this point of growth in their lives. This takes a lot of hard work and introspection. Yeah, EA Charles, it does, man. And a lot of humbleness too, right? Like really sit your ass down and sometimes think. And so it takes a lot of self-checking. I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, and you know, ultimately, I would say this, man. Looks like we guys been having some really, really good conversation here. I don't even see the bots. Like, what are the bots? I don't know. Maybe you guys, maybe that, I don't know. Okay. All right, whatever. Maybe I tend to ignore comments anyway. Some of the ones I don't like, yo, who said yo, KD? All right, but this would be the chance. So, and while we got, I got a little time left. If you want to ask me a direct question or maybe something I wasn't clear about, even though I thought I pretty much was, but if I wasn't, type it in the chat. I'll be looking at the chat if you have a question about the conversation. The G-Web says the production value on this stream is 100%. Very, very well done, but the content just blows it away. Great stream. Thank you, G-Webs, and I trust you to tell me the truth, good sir. I'm digging this, man. I'm going to do these a little bit more. I like this. I also like what's going on Stogies and Straps on YouTube, too. Y'all need to make sure you're over there. But I dig this. You know what I'm saying? I dig this. I'm going to drop this coffee link in here one more time, too. Support my good two-way brothers over at Blackout Coffee. Really love what they're doing over there. Love the coffee, too. Like I said, I'm drinking this blueberry crap. I'm not doing a commercial. I'm just telling y'all. I like coffee, and this blueberry is fire. And I like them because they stand up for freedom, make a good product, and they believe in freedom. Like that's a pretty good blend to me. So, pun intended. So, go over there and use the link, the code, the link thing I just put in the comments section. Go get you some coffee, man. They got K-Cups, fresh ground, and all that good stuff. You can coffee and tea and cocoa and all that good stuff. Go get you some. Clover text, and I said, not sure if you scheduled this live ahead of time, but it gives us an opportunity to share before it starts. I did actually schedule it, and then I screwed up because my webcam wasn't disconnected, and it took over, and I had to disconnect it and do it again through the actual camera. So, but I totally agree. We announcing them in advance does give people the chance to schedule their evening and share it out. Totally agree with you. We need to put in some more LEDs. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Brandon. Yeah, we absolutely do. Even though Rogan dropped the N-bomb 70 times, do you think he was 100 with the apology? Mark, I believe that Rogan realized he fucked up. That's what I believe, and I could be wrong. But taking a little bit of character references from people that know him personally, that I know, checking out his mannerism when he did the apology, the fact he didn't do a well-polished apology too. It didn't seem scripted. It didn't seem like he had a publicist type it up, and he didn't do it. It looks like he did it off a cell phone. Like it doesn't look like he didn't go to a studio and set it all up and, make it well polished. He just looks like a guy that grabbed his phone and said, this is the shit that's on my heart. I'm gonna give it. I think he was sincere in his apology. All that to be said. I think he was sincere in his apology because he didn't just say, I'm sorry. He called himself out on his bullshit, like I've seen him do on his show when he calls other people out on their bullshit, right? It's like it was the same kind of energy. Even though I haven't watched all the episodes, it felt like the same energy where if he thinks somebody full of shit, he'll tell them, and it seems like he turned that on himself. So I think it was 100 in his apology. But now it's up to people whether they forgive him or not. But yeah, I think he was sincere. And whether people were going to take it and forgive him or not is their right. They get to decide. But I don't think he was selling fluff. I think he was sincere that he fucked up. Some people will say, yeah, you fucked up because you got caught, right? That's one angle, because one could argue that if you just felt sorry about the shit you had did before, you would have just randomly in your show said, yeah, man, I remember I used to say that shit all the time, and I was a fucking idiot, right? But I do believe, to answer your question, I do believe that was authentic. I do believe it was genuine. I do believe he knows he messed up. What drove him to that could simply be, damn, because he said, I listened to that clip and it sounds horrible. It does, right? Context or no context, it does. So I believe he was sincere. And we'll see what happens from here. Uh, 80% in your opinion. I mean, that could be. I don't really think how do you do this? Oh, I can just do that. Okay, never mind. I figured it out. Look at this. Bam. Watch this, G Webs. I'm gonna make you a mod right now. Booyah. I just made you a mod. So you can moderate them. Get rid of the bots, G. I just made you a moderator. Cool. You know what? I'm not even gonna say that that's a bad comment, man. Sometimes getting caught is what makes you reflect and correct. I'm not even gonna say that that's a bad statement. I'm not. I really can't argue with that. So, you know, we're hey Mark, you still in here? I'm gonna make you a mod too. Mark, my boy. Brandon, where you at? Then I think I'll be good. Brandon, where you go? And I will. So, Mark, I made you a moderator so you guys can like go fight the bots. And then I'm looking for Brandon. Where the hell you at, man? Oh, there you are. Okay, then I'll make Brandon a mod. Okay. I will say this too, yo, and I really want you guys to think about this too. And this will be another good point. I understand there are a lot of people that are like, I'm going to say what I want to say when I want to say it. Okay. But I still want you to do some soul searching and think about, because there are people that actually are looking even beyond the issue and making it like, I'll say it too. Okay, tough guy. My question though is, why do you want to? Why do you want to say it? Why do you want to say it so bad? Why is that the fight that you want to fight? All the shit that we could be doing. You want to prove to people that, damn it, I can say it. Okay. You can, because factually you're not wrong. But why? This ain't even about you having a consequence. I don't even care nothing about the consequences. My question is, if you understand that a word is hurtful to roughly 50 million of your country people, if you understand that it impacts them, and it is not a word that is common usage as far as like business talk or something that you walk into Starbucks and request. All right. I can see if somebody was insulted because you ordered a latte with foam on top. And they're like, don't say foam. Like, I get it. All right. People doing a little bit too much. And that's damn near realistic. I'm pretty sure I just offended somebody by using foam in that context, by the way. But it is what it is. When you are really thinking about unity, if you know, or getting along, why do you want to fall on that? Why would you want to say that? Why? What does it prove? Especially when you know the history of the word and how it impacts people. What does it prove by you saying it? Besides you serving your own selfish motives. I can say it. All right. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to let you pull me out of pocket. I'm not. You got to follow that word up with some actions with me. Because then I'll be your huckleberry. But you got to follow that word up with some actions. A word I had to learn, man. Stop letting words move you. You know what I mean? Nah. I might feel it. It might sting too. But I understand that the game that's being played. You ain't finna knock me out my pivot and erase everything that I've done or things that I'll be able to do because you call me a word and I break your jaw. Catch assault second. Now I can't own guns anymore. No. Follow those words up with some threatening action. Or say it out in front of your business and then maybe I'll make you famous. All right? Follow it up with an action. But I'm still curious about why you want to say it. What's the big attraction? Because I'll never repeat what I hear in those Italian mob movies. Or what I hear in the Spanish movies, the Mexican. I won't repeat. I won't repeat the things that I know are insulting, even though I enjoy the movies. And I know plenty of people that listen to rap music that are not black. And they might in their car driving down the street say every lyric, but they are at least conscious enough when they get around other folks that ain't cool. So what you do in privacy in your own home, that's you. You got to soul search yourself. But what do you get by going out saying it to where the world can hear it? What gain do you get from that? Because the only thing I can think about is that the fact that you get to say, I can say anything that I want to say. You can. What do you get from it? How is it going to help you progress this country? How is it going to help you build bonds with other people? How is it going to help you continue to diversify the Second Amendment? How? How does you saying it do any of those things? It's not that deep. Women, for as long as I have known, walk around, call each other the B word all the time. Be this, be that, be this, be that, be this, be that. I ain't never wanted to repeat it in context with them. But they can say it to each other, and they use it as a term of endearment across all races. Women walk up to each other, oh, you a bad B. Looking good, B. Love your hair, B. They do it all the time. Let one of us men walk up and say it. You're going to get a different reaction. And then my question to you is still going to be like, why you want to say it so bad? Even though the B word is not as bad as the N word, but you get my point. Why you want to say it? That's my question. Like, why you want to say it? Let's see what we got going on here. Even in context, it's super uncomfortable for most white people. I can't speak to others' colors, of course, but are there black folks that it is uncomfortable for as well, too, even in context? Yes, not all black people like the N-word, and some of them are very vocal in telling you that they do not like it. Like, very vocal. 2 other black people. Like, ain't a white person around. And they are hostile when it comes to that word being used in any context with any ERA. There are ample amounts of black people that will get very hostile with you for using it. Absolutely. Charles, appreciate that, man. Being taboo. Okay. People like to see reactions. Yeah. If a white person really wants to have an N-word card, it's to covertly show their racism. Or better yet, you say it, and now your friends or so-called brother that is black has to defend and stand up to your BS. Yeah, I will tell you that right now. I am cool Like, how people always like, oh, I got a black friend, I got a white friend, I got a gay friend, whatever. I got a whole lot of white homies. I ain't talking about just one. I got a lot of partners or I got shit. I think I got 4 friends that are Polynesian. I got a lot of white homies. I got probably 4 or 5 or no 6 because one of my homeboys came out a couple of years ago. Gay or members that are part of the LGBTQ. I have a lot of conversations with a lot of people because I'm easy to talk to, really, right? Like, so I'll have a conversation with you, so I can maintain friendships and relationships with a lot of people. Let me tell you something right now. Any, and you can think of me what you want. Any of my non-black friends that think that they are ever comfortable enough to sit on the couch with me and have a beer and casually throw around the N-word, you were sadly mistaken. Context, that's iffy. Like you're repeating verbatim what somebody said to make you uncomfortable with trying to make a point, iffy. But we ain't gonna do that. You know what I don't do to my white friends? I don't call them the C word, right? What you normally put in chili or maybe have with a slice of cheese, right? I don't call them that because it's inappropriate. So why would I do that? And chances are, if I'm sitting around you and having a conversation with you, I have a certain degree of respect for you as a human being. So why would I intentionally say something that's insulting to you? And furthermore, while we on that C word, look, I don't think that anybody that understands even where that word came from will use it personally, because that comes from the sound of a whip. And so when you call somebody that, you are basically saying that they are a whip master, which means they're, in my opinion, delivering pain to you, right? Because that's the sound of the whip is where the C word comes from. That end of it, when it. So, nah. But I'm not going to sit around my white homies and say that. Just like if I'm around my Native American homies, I'm not going to say certain things. Like, why would I do that? And why would I say it in private too? You get what I'm saying? But I'm damn sure not going to sit there and be comfortable enough just to be like, oh, that's my homie, I can say whatever I want to say to him. Nah, bro. You got to be respectful of people. It all comes down to respect. You can be my Mexican homie. I got some Mexican homies. I had to learn, though. This was something I've been going through over the last year or so. I got a couple of my homies, Alicia and Edgar, have been, and Latinos Locked and Loaded, have really been good at educating me on how to address people that we normally just call Spanish, or we say just Mexican, right? So I'm always about being educated. And they're like, hey, man, you're using that wrong. This is this, this is this, this is that. I'm like, oh, shit, I didn't know, right? So as I'm going through my learning curve, I hope they'll be a little forgiving to me. But Lord forbid, 5 years and I got this shit down and I look right at them and say something intentionally wrong, I expect them to be offended. So, man, we just got to be respectful of people. There's plenty of things that I could say that I don't say because it's just not that important. You know what I mean? Sound of the wheel. Yep. So I don't look, man, to me, it's all about respect. Now, for the individuals, and maybe I'm not talking to anybody in this stream right now. Maybe I'm just thinking out loud. For the individuals that are on the side of, I'm going to say what I want to say, N word, B word, F word, C word, whatever word. I'm going to say it when I want to, how I want to who I want to. I don't give a damn who it offends. I don't care if I know damn well that it offends you. I'm going to say what I want to say, period. Okay. Be prepared to deal with the consequences. Maybe that consequence is you losing some friends. Maybe it's you losing your job. Maybe it's you losing your business. Maybe if you just, getting yelled at and nothing else. Maybe people just walk away from you. Maybe somebody breaks your damn face or worse. Do what you want, man. Do what you want. That's all I can say. You got nothing else to add to that. Yeah, Francisco says Latino culture is really diverse, and what can be casual talk or endearing to one group is extremely offensive to another. See, that's why I don't open my mouth and say stuff I ain't got no business saying. Man, look, I watch, Narcos and all that stuff, and they be in there talking fly. Some stuff I Googled, I'm like, ooh, because I can tell by people's reaction that it was offensive. I'm like, ooh, what that mean? Google Translate, right? I'm like, oh, they don't like that. Just because I know it's offensive doesn't mean I'm gonna go out now and say it. So yeah, just be that'd be cool. And I think somebody brings up a very funny point too. Let me tell you right now, hey, my white homies, y'all know y'all my dogs, right? I got no beef with you. I'm gonna tell your ass like it is. Hey, don't jump out there and call yourself dropping that N-bomb all over the place and then calling me for help. You on your own. I done warned your ass. Don't. Nope. You say something politically you need some cleanup with, you got an issue with some civil rights, you want to, have a cultural conversation, a social discussion, some business talk, family talk. You want to talk about cigars, you want to talk about guns. Hey, gravy, baby, we can get it in. Your ass decide to go out there and be super duper tough with your mouth. Don't be calling me for help. I got nothing to do with that. You take all that. You put your ass in that situation, you take all that. I got nothing for you. I'm out of it. All right? Because I told your ass now. This ain't the hill you want to down. And it don't make sense. It don't make sense no way, man. There's so many other things we could be talking about and so many other words we can be saying. Every time you want to say the N word, say freedom instead. How about that? There you go. Yeah, shit. I'm just saying, man, look, y'all. Let me tell you something. I pick and choose my battles, baby. And I know some stuff I'll get knee deep into and I'll bang with you to the ends of the earth. But when you put yourself in a situation and you do it, you've been forewarned and you do it anyway, don't do that. Look, man, and I'm telling y'all from a person that considers himself very rational, that thinks a lot, that considers other people's perspectives. Just don't. Because it's not worth it. It's not. And I think G Webb's asked something about it losing its power. Let me get up to that. Question: does the word ever lose its power, or is its definition too integral to our country that it will always have a unique depth of significance? G Webb's, I don't think it'll ever lose its power because of what it means. And as long as we are continuously educating people, like now, for example, right? You take this entire situation that we're discussing tonight. And when you consider how that word has now sparked this new conversation, now millions upon millions of people are reminded of it. And so now that's going to continue and carry on. Yeah, I don't think it'll ever lose its power. In as far as it being offensive, I don't think it ever loses power. Now, where I think it should lose its power immediately, is people just hearing it and reacting to the point to where they're willing to literally lose their freedom over it. That's why for me, and it's it's such a hard pill to swallow, but you have to. Somebody can walk down the street and say literally whatever they want to you. And what I tell people when I'm training them in self-defense, and it's along the same lines, the person who understands the law better normally wins. So if someone knows that they can say something to you that causes you to have a physical, violent reaction, then they win. Because even if you beat them or shoot them, you go to jail or prison. If they beat or shoot you, they get to say self-defense. But either way, you could either lose your life or cost your family a lot of time and lawyer money and stuff like that. You could die and cost your family everything. Or worse, they get to, like I said earlier, they get to continue on and drag people out of pocket over the use of the word. So for me, my direct approach is this. You say what you want to say. And may the consequences fall where they fall. Period. So to me, in its way that it's offensive and it drives people mad and crazy. For me, and I think many other people, it has lost its power in that way. So let me say that. But as far as it losing its power as being offensive to people, I don't foresee that being anytime soon. All right. So I don't think that anybody should ever be comfortable with just don't. You know what I'm saying? Just don't. Leave it alone. I'd much rather see, oh, that's why my light got dark. I'll much rather see people that I know have good heart and good intention. I would much rather see you in the continuous fight for those good reasons and those good intentions. Instead of you, and I'm not saying G Webs, you want to say it, but instead of someone saying, oh, I just want to say this word to prove that I can, and you lose everything. Just don't. It's just like that deep. And here's the thing too, especially if you are not racist, why would you want to say it? Because I think Joe Rogan used the term racist use. I think Joe Rogan has a lot of prejudice and bias, but we all do. I'm not making excuses for him, but literally, we all do. I think his just really got exposed. But do I think he's a racist? No, I don't think he's a racist. I think he shared the language of racist. Trying to push the envelope of free speech to areas where you can go, but they're going to come with consequences. And I'm not saying, once again, nothing he hasn't said. So I'm just echoing Joe at this point. But it's just really not worth it. I guarantee you, if you go ask, if you could have a one-on-one sit down with Rogan right now, one-on-one, no cameras, no Instagram, no nothing, and say, hey, Joe, if you could do it all over again, with all the BS you going through, would you do it? I'm willing to bet $100 he'll say no. Why would he want to go through this? He was kicking ass in the COVID fight. This one looking a little different. And I'm not saying he's going to, go away. I don't think we're ever going to see the end of Joe Rogan. All right. But it's fun. Like, hey, here's another thing. How come we haven't totally canceled Liam Neeson or Nelson? What's that boy name? The Taken dude. The one that played A-Team and Taken. Liam. I posted a video of him over in Ireland because a female acquaintance of his claimed that she got sexually assaulted by a guy that happened to be black. And he said that in his own language, he said that he picked up a crowbar and was walking the street and was going to bash in the first nigger head that he saw with the ER. Nigger. He said, I'm going to bash in the first nigger that I see. I'm going to bash his head in. I don't watch his movies. But you know what? Let me tell you how that happened. I was already not watching his movies, which made it easy for me. But I stopped watching his movies when he came out as anti-gun. This was before I knew about the end thing. I didn't know about that. I was like, oh, come on, man. What do you mean you anti-gun? Fuck you. What? All right. And I listened to his whole thing that he was talking about. I'm like, oh, no, man, I'm cool. I can't rock with you. Because now your movies just seem fake to me, right? Like they just don't seem real anymore. And so I just started watching the movies. And it was like, I think 6 or 7 months later, that clip came out. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I had already stopped watching your programs anyway. So this just gives me another reason to do so. But I didn't see Hollywood turning on him, and they're still giving him acting jobs. Let's see what his last movie was. So let's see when he made the statement. Neeson, that's his name, Liam Neeson. Let's see when he made the statement. Okay, so that came out February 5th of 2019 is when his racist statement came out. Okay. And so let's see what his IMB thing says. All right. So that came out in 2019. He had Memory that just came out in 2022. In the Land of Saints and Sinners came out since then. Retribution came out since then. The Ice Road came out since then. Honest Steve came out since then. As he was in Star Wars the year that was out. He also was in Men in Black the year that came out. So he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies since then. So, how come Hollywood didn't cancel him? So, how come they didn't cancel him? So I'm just saying, man, if the so the left didn't tell you to go cancel one of their own folks in Hollywood, man, you just gotta peep the game, man. You just gotta peep the game. Peep the game. But in the end of it, though, look, if you good people, I'm cool with you. I'm gonna fight for the fight that I fight for. And sometimes that's really, really in the Black community. Sometimes that's America as whole. Sometimes it's regional. I'm gonna fight the fights where I feel like my fight need to be. All right. I've done just as much for my community as I've done for my country in my own little way, because I believe one makes the other stronger. A stronger community makes a stronger country. So they play hand in hand. But what we are not going to do is act as if we don't have to be courteous and respectful of each other. One of the things we say in the gun world is that an armed society is a polite society. We say that not because people understand they could get shot. We say that because people that normally carry around a gun carry around a level of responsibility and maturity in general, right? Like, we're all polite to each other. We all just want to live peacefully and be able to protect ourselves, and we are all willing to do so, right? Like, cool. That comes with a level of respect, concern for your fellow man. If you can do that carrying a gun, how come you can't do that in using a word? Seriously, think about that. It's all so easy, man. And then you stuck, because people always say, oh, they're trying to divide us. Okay, well, you're right. Why give them ammunition though? If you know that they're trying to divide the country, why would you give them more? Stop giving them easy, low-hanging fruit. Stop doing it. Make their jobs harder. So when you say something, it's profound, you got evidence, you got facts, and nobody can distract from what you're trying to say. Because at this point, we ain't even talking about what Robert Malone said on the show. We talking about what Joe Biden said over the last 10 years. So whatever information Robert Malone himself gave out is now not being listed, is muted. Oh, man. So I just think we all need to get back to a level of respect, man. Watch your mouth. I mean, most of our parents or neighbors or coworkers or coaches or school teachers have been telling us that since we were kids, man. Watch your mouth. Most of the people that I had conflicts with talk too much. I went down with talking. You watch your mouth. But when you grow up, you realize, well, I can't act like that no more. So now people can say what they want to say. I'm less moved by it, you know. But it's all about respect. Just respect each other, man. I got no disrespect for none of y'all. I cannot like you, don't mean I'm gonna disrespect you. So if I won't do that to somebody that I dislike, why would I intentionally respect somebody I say that I care about? Like, that don't make no damn sense. Or somebody I'm neutral with. Like, why would I do that? It's all about respect. I don't want to say anything intentionally to you that is not in my common usage that I know is disrespectful. If I can't say foam, I'm sorry. You're probably just going to be offended. None I can do. I can't help you. Got nothing for you. But if I know that it's not part of my normal language and I can avoid using it, then I'm gonna do so. Why? Because it's wrong. And two, you deserve that level of respect. That's why I don't look at white people and call them names. There's not one white person that can say that I called them a derogatory term to affect their race. Not one Mexican person that can say that. It's not, because I don't do it. It's not that I don't know what the words are. I just don't do it. It's about respect. Because I'm trying to engage with mature adults and gentlemen and gentle ladies. I'm not trying to interact with fools. So the moment I see that you just explicitly, you with it, because you got a point to prove, before I even let you make me upset, man, I'm just going to dismiss you. I just don't know you. That way you can't have no effect on me. They be like, man, you see what old boy put on this page, man? The N-word, just like some of these 2A advocates, man. Look, I done been on their pages, and the people will start and y'all haven't seen it. Y'all have seen it. They'll start these little chains. Well, they won't start it, but their audience will start it. They'll put a capital N. Somebody else will put a capital I. Then they'll come with the GG. Oh, they'll spell it out one at a time. That way the comment can't get flagged. And to this day, I've only seen one 2A influencer actually go in on their own and delete it. Everybody else just lets it ride. And those individuals that I see that are constantly rather ignoring it, not once or twice, I know where to place you. Because you can't help what people type. But when you see it, you know you can stop that stuff, man. I don't catch everything, so I'm not putting nobody to that degree. But I also ain't missed it 300 times in the last 10 years either. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually I'm going to see it, and eventually you can do something about it. Or you can at least try. So it's about respect. If you just have respect for your fellow person, I think we'll be in a much better place. How about we just start there, man? We just start with some respect. I think we'll be all right. Oh, exactly. Yep. G-Webs, you can. All right. So I see it, I sit back and I chill, man. I'm like, oh, okay. I ain't gonna look at something once, but like, damn, I just unfollowed the platforms. I'm like, oh, I see how you are. I see where you at. I see where you stand. It's been 10 years of this shit and you ain't done nothing about it. Okay. Just move on. Just move on. You know what I mean? Ain't that deep? But been rocking with y'all for a minute, man. It's almost 11. I'm gonna get us 13 more minutes, and I'm gonna hop off of here. So if anybody's got any questions, please type them out now. And at the top of the hour is when I'm gonna bid you adieu and go on with the rest of my evening. But I'll give them like 13 minutes for anybody that's got any immediate conversations. And clearly, I'm gonna encourage you guys to please go over to the website. Oh, we just had a cop shot in Atlanta. Oh, it happened at 1:30 this afternoon. I have to read more into that, see what happened. I tell you what, talking about that Joe Rogan did some. That IG lit up with followers. It's a shame that negativity is what draws everybody in. I wish we could just, God, man, I don't know. It's a human condition, man. And I do appreciate all you guys that actually tuned in, because I see a lot of people are just like respond to me on Instagram. No, I'm not. I'm not responding to one comment on that IG. Not one. Not one. Not even when it says hi. I'm not. Because we have to get used to the fact that we have to be able to have conversations that can go in depth. Instead of looking at somebody type out 2 paragraphs on IG and think that we actually get the context. But I will say this too. Stop telling people that they can't be offended by it. And it ain't your place to tell people they should get over it. You can be offended. You can also control how you react. And you can also be mindful of how you're letting other people use your emotions or guide your emotions. Your response should be your own. Take in the evidence, look at it, think what you think, feel how you feel, respond accordingly. Because that's what people die for you to be able to do. Freedom comes with a lot, but you're also free to be dumb. Or you can use your freedom, actually use your brain and the resources and the access to information that we have. I'm talking to you on this, well, this thing, but we got tablets, we got phones, we got all kind of stuff, man. Information is everywhere. We got each other. Okay. And then you come up with your own conclusion. But don't you let somebody use you like that. Rogan, I'm sure, is feeling the sting of what he did. May the cards fall where they may, but I'm not about to help people, no matter how I feel. I ain't about to help people cancel him, because you know what? I'm telling you, you're going to help them cancel him, and then they're going to cancel your ass. That's it. That's how it works. That's how it works. But you also need to stop telling people they can't be offended. I don't like that. I don't want to be telling nobody. Like if they be extra sensitive, like, oh, I said foam and you extra, okay. But they have a right to be offended. If somebody's offended, they're offended. That word has never been directed towards you for you to be offended by it. Because you haven't lived what nearly 50 million people in this country of their existence. So it doesn't bother you to be offended by it, but it damn sure bothers them. So don't tell them not to be offended. And those people also have a right to react. Hell, everybody has a right to react. I'm just advising you that the way that you react should be self-led. It should be with you thinking about it. It should be with you gathering information. Because there is a particular side of this argument that wants you to do the opposite of that. They don't want you to gather information. They want you to be emotionally charged up all the time. They want you to just do without ever thinking about actions, without ever thinking about your actions or thinking about the consequences, especially when they know the consequences affect you. You think CNN give a damn about racism? They don't give a damn about no racism. If they gave a damn about racism, Joe Biden would never be on their platform. They would never talk about him. They would never promote him. They would never talk about his policies. They would talk about the truth of what he's done, but they would never promote that man and help him do anything. But yet they do. So think about who hyping you up, who gassing you up, who's sending you out into the field to do their work. You can be mad on your own. What you need somebody else tell you to be mad for? And I've seen it across the board, man. I got some black folks I've seen like, hey, welcome. Okay. Got some other black folks is like, shit, it ain't that deep. I don't really give a damn. I ain't watching this stuff. I never watch stuff no way. Okay. Got other black folks is like, He apologized, man. I'm good. I'm cool. Boom, cool. And some other black folks is like, well, I know him. I'm gonna holler at old boy myself. I ain't gonna even share my opinions and thoughts to the world. Okay. Me getting mad at anybody, any one of those mentalities, for whatever reason, does what? Does what? Because people are free to do as they choose. Joe Rogan was free to use the word, and Joe Rogan is now suffering the consequences for that. Just understand, freedom comes with consequences. So there's a balance, and it doesn't have to be one side or the other. There's always this whole pick a side. They don't pick a side. You can be nuanced and balanced in your approach. You can think it through. You can consider the variables, and you can, at the end of all that, still be pissed. But what you shouldn't do is let some conglomerate tell you how to feel. And here's the crazy thing. You want to crack a joke? Here's a joke for you. I wonder how many black people going to all of a sudden wind up appearing on Joe Rogan podcast. Yeah. Hey, Joe got to fix that. You got to fix it. And I know some racists. I know some racists. I ain't saying we cool, but I know of them, I should say. I mean, like, without a shadow of a doubt, like, these motherfuckers racist. Like, ain't no guessing. Rogan don't strike me of that ilk. Rogan strikes me as somebody that just got too motherfucking comfortable and was comfortable using the language of racist. And you got to deal with that. G Webs is also promoting the Train and Learn. So on a positive note, May 22nd through the 29th, Memorial Day weekend, outside of St. Louis, Missouri, is the No Other Choice annual Train and Learn event. This will be our third one. Train and Learn, essentially, I'm not going to bore you with a lot of details because you can read it. It's right there in the comments section. It's also the same website that is pinned at the top, nootherchoice.com, and G Webs has gracefully put the entire link in here as well, the direct URL rather. Train and Learn is a 3-day professional development event for anyone in the world of freedom. So you can be a YouTuber, you can be a podcaster, you can be a blogger, you can be a whatever. It doesn't matter. You're a manufacturer, a sales rep, a marketing executive. If you're in the realm of the freedom industry, gun club president, whatever, like you're just in the realm, media, whatever. Train and Learn is for you. Train and Learn is a 3-day professional development event where one day we're spending some time in a classroom. We're going through workshops and listening to professionals. Some of them that work directly in the freedom industry and some of them might not, but they are experts at what they are teaching on to show you how to scale your business, grow your business, manage numbers, understand marketing, using social media, sponsorships, contracts. We covered a gauntlet of stuff that you really need to know. And this is coming from the industry professionals. Or professionals at what they do, rather. We'll have one day of professional development event with some fun mixed in. There's always some fun stuff going on, which it includes a lot of great fun. And there's always some surprises in there. Second day, you're out on the range, man. You're doing medical training from literally some of the best people this year. We have Akil, my brother from Taylor Defense Training Group. He's going to be out there. Akil's a 23-year Army veteran, Green Beret. And he's going to be out there teaching us about medical survival. So Akil will be out there doing this thing. We got Ryan and Amber with Fit to Fight, great self-defense company. They travel the world and teach that. They're going to be on hand, and they're going to be doing hand-to-hand stuff with us. We have Barrett, with Barrett Training Group from Louisiana, works with the PDN network and does his own training company. He will be there providing us with rifle instruction. And then we have Kurt, lead pistol instructor outside of Ken Scott with Prevectus Group, that's going to be there running through us with guns. Kurt also is a military veteran and is bringing his professional training experience along with his military background to the event and is blessing us with his skill set. And then we're going to do something cool after that. So, for example, last year we had a big bonfire and we had a bourbon and cigar pairing class taught by LVD Cigars. And you got a free pour bourbon and a free cigar. And you sat around, and then we did our networking event. Then we had an offset event where if you've never experienced night vision before, we had a couple of guys brought out their night vision equipment. I lent $15,000 on my own gear for people to go out and just experience night vision, because a lot of people don't get to do that, right? Just to have it. And then once you were done shooting the guns, you come over, you get you a drink, you get you a cigar, sit around a beautiful bonfire in the middle of the countryside, and you network with your fellow human beings and you discuss how you can work together. Third day, you're going to have some offset classes. So if you want to know more about videos, production value, maybe being more of an instructor, you really want some time with that. We're going to have breakout classes that are optional, but the whole day is built for you to create content. So you can go around, create content with your fellow content creators, right? Somebody wants to write an article on you. Cool. You can do interviews here. You can do collaborative videos here. And the sponsors that are going to be there, you can actually use their products real time. And it's not like going to like SHOT Show or anything like that where you're standing on a line. There is space for you to actually go and create content based around the product. So it's not like you're standing there and everybody's shooting and you can't talk. Like you can find you a corner, safe direction, that direction, do your video. So we have a lot of that. And it's going to be good. And then we'll have, I know 3 podcasts streaming live. One of them I'm going to wait to say till I get the final confirmation, but I know We Like Shooting will be on site, and so will Latinos Locked and Loaded. And then we have another one that's coming as well. And we're going to feed you 3 times. So you're going to get 3 meals throughout the course of this. You're going to get a swag bag, and you're also going to get some extra goodies and bonuses. And you get all that for $350. It is a no-brainer of an event if you're in this industry. It's a no-brainer. No-brainer. So, train and learn. Memorial Day weekend, May 27th through the 29th, outside of St. Louis, Missouri. You have 2 links in the comments section that are available to you. You are more than welcome to go ahead, go over to the site, get signed up. And not only is it only $350 for all that, you can also finance that $350 for 4 months interest free. And that's right on the website. So you can get a 4 months interest free where, you can break it up, stretch that money out, do some other things with it in the meantime. But once you pay for it, you're in, right? So once you sign up, you're done. You're in there. You're good to go. There's also going to be a discount on lodging on the website, so you'll get a discount there. And we're going to have a really, really good time. Trust, we're going to have a great time. It's a great time. Train and learn from a business standpoint. I can tell you over the last 2 years that we had it, minus the year of C20-1, reported back to me from the small businesses, there was over $500,000 of revenue generated. Train and Learn has birthed 3 gun ranges, 4 gun stores, and there are several businesses that have stated their own testimony, unsolicited from me, that they are experiencing a growth in their business and some of those soft skills they didn't have, which has allowed them to scale their business and make more revenue or become more influential, and everyone leaves with a great network. So it's $350, man. Not doing it for profit, we're doing it for love. Because the stronger you are at your business, if you're in the mission of freedom, then the stronger we all are. I'm tired of seeing people show up for a year and disappear because they just didn't have it. Because sometimes we can help, and sometimes we're losing some pretty damn good assets, right? So come out and do it, man. Come out and do it. I didn't even know I was big enough to channel to have bots. I want to read like what. I gotta get better at knowing what a bot is. I'm not on YouTube a lot. This is interesting now. Yep, invest in your dreams within the community. And look, and I'm telling you, for those who don't know me, I am the same when you meet me. Trust. I am the same when you meet me. I am always going to be respectful as long as you are. And I'm always willing to have a nice discussion. If you don't want to talk to me about something, man, we ain't got to fight. We ain't got to fight. Say, hey, Katie, I want to chop it up with you about something. I'll be like, all right, come on. Go get, you want a cigar? Yeah, I'll take a cigar. Get a cigar. Sit your ass down. What's up? We chop it up, man. It ain't got to, we don't have to fight about everything, but we do need to be respectful at all times. We ain't got to fight. I'm with it, man. We can talk. We can chop it up. And some stuff you do want to go off to the side and talk about because somebody else hearing it could misunderstand what you're trying to get across. And so you really just want to be like, yo, look, boom. This is my problem. What you think about that? You might have a problem with me. Tell me. Just be respectful. Hey, man, be honest with you. This is my issue I got with you. And this is how I feel about it. What you got? Okay. What I'm hearing you say is, okay, so let me help guide you through my thought process. and we can shake it up and dap it up and hug it out as gentlemen and keep it pushing. It ain't, gotta grow up, man. We gotta grow up. We gotta grow up. But the thing that happens most of the time, which I'm thankful for, like 99.9% of the time, is when you get together, you can build bonds that make the differences seem very minute, which is why I love getting with people and building bonds with them, because your differences become easier to talk about. And some of them are just so minute, you realize that they really mean nothing when it comes to your relationship with people. So I'm the same in person, and I love to meet you. So I operate. I'm gonna always rep for my community. I'm always gonna rep for what I believe in. And one of the things I believe in is freedom. So I'm cool with that too. You about freedom? We about freedom. We good. Let's shit. You my homie. As long as you say respectful. And I'm going to respect you. It's all good, baby. Oh, okay. That's what they are. Okay, cool. I didn't know. Sniping bots is a great hobby. Those are amazing results from a unique approach to building community. Yeah, thanks, G Webs. Train and learn has been a great thing, man, and I'm glad that people are fostering. If you haven't been out, you need to get your butts out. And we got great speakers. So I will be talking more about train and learn in the days to come. But please, guys, share the links. Tell your people to sign up. Tell your friends to sign up. If they're in the freedom community, get their butts signed up. Stay on them. Get on them. Like, yo, did you sign up yet? If I can get everybody to come and bring one person, we'll do great. And we're capped out at 60. We've always sold out. So don't wait, because when we sell out, we can't invite anybody else. So you sign up and make a buddy come with you. And then tell that buddy to tell a buddy, because it's nothing to get 60 people. And come out and have a good time and be in the countryside, be fresh air, good living, good people, a diverse group of people, very diverse, and come out and have a good time. Come out and learn, train, network, collab, enjoy. It's too easy, man. That being said, make sure you subscribe to Stogies and Straps. Y'all stop playing with me, man. Get over there on Stogies and Straps. That's the YouTube channel. We got 2 videos out now. Check it out. I think you guys will really love the set. I think you'll really enjoy it, man. It's a different way of approaching mature adult conversation. We talked about everything from abortion to our oversexed society, police and law enforcement interactions, relationships, family. We got some economic stuff coming out. I got some politicians coming on, some professional athletes coming on, some political pundits coming on. Like when I say we are talking about everything, but we're doing it in a way that's a little bit long form and it's relaxed where you can actually hear what we're saying to each other. I believe in being a change agent, man. That's what we got to do. So that being said, you guys have all been wonderful, man. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me for almost damn near 3 hours and listening to me. So hopefully this allowed us to have a good, some good exchange. I see the comments have been lit. Even without the bots, you guys have really been in the comments chopping it up. And good, man. And I'm glad I got a chance to entertain and answer some of the questions. Please, if you only came over from the Instagram post to tell you to come over and listen, subscribe. That'd be cool. Also subscribe to the Stogies and Straps YouTube page while you're on YouTube. And do me a favor too. If any of you guys, if you only came from YouTube, please follow me at the same tag, The Real NOC, on Instagram. And do me a favor. You guys that are on Instagram, like, will you go back over to the post and tell people that are asking questions they just need to come listen to this 3 hours? I'm gonna leave it up. So they just need to come over and listen to it. And then they can feel how they feel. But I don't know why people think I'm gonna have such a delicate conversation over text. Like, no, we're not gonna do that. But that being said, man, I appreciate all you guys, man. Love you much. Go enjoy your families, enjoy your evening, get a good beverage, whether it's water, coffee, pour bourbon, whatever you do. Take a chill pill, relax, put on a good movie, and enjoy your life, man, and enjoy yourself. Don't let them stress you out. Peace.